So what's up, party people? Sorry about the delay. I had to do an update and get some other things taken care of. Again, like I said, I wasn't planning on going live earlier this morning, so kind of threw off my, I guess you would call it the schedule, my streaming body clock. I don't know, but I just had get some food and smoke some more weed, and then get back on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the link. It's gonna be pretty cut and dry. I wanted to definitely get into the ISS space, second law of thermodynamics. I mean, you name it, let's talk about it. Just wanted to make a couple things so open so everyone knows what's going on. Because I did get notice that a lot of people weren't quite sure. I am Shawn G. I'm here because my Shawn G channel got 2 strikes. I'm in the process of getting rid of those so I can be back over there. But in the meantime, this is the backup channel, and I've been enjoying the shit out of it. What's up, Shawn? How you doing? Pretty good. Let me go ahead and get the... All right, now they can hear you. Yeah, just relaxing and now seeing how long I can go today without getting too tired because of the stream this morning. Mad props to Jose, man. That shit... To stream that early, or at least early for me, because it's what 7, or you're California too, so it was about what 7, a little bit after 7 when I went live. I'm not used to that. Yeah. I'm not used to that at all.
Yeah, it wears on you a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lately, you've been live streaming a lot more than you usually do, so you're starting to see how that is. What's up? What's up, B-Ball? How you doing, sir? You hear me?
Hey, Sarge.
We hear you, but I don't know if you can hear us.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear us? Check. I think he's going through his settings. I'm not sure. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so until he gets his mic ready, I wanted to get into the ISS and space, second law of thermodynamics, the things that matter.
Space is real. It's not fake.
Exactly. 100%. Matter of fact, our men and women of the military services depend on space being real. Everything, yeah, planning, action, all the whole nines. You kind of need.
Yeah, we have geospatial engineers where they're the ones that actually make the maps.
Yeah. There was for a while, because I know a lot about like the civilian version of stuff, and then the military version. Like they have real time Google, like quote unquote Google Earth, but that we won't have access to. But at the same time, they kind of need that stuff, and then you would have to go, well, how does that work if we live on a flat Earth? How could it? No satellites, no space. How are we getting live signals from across the world?
Exactly. And
yeah,
people like I've heard some people like doubt the validity of like Army manuals or Marine Corps manuals when they talk about Coriolis or whatever. It's like, no, if those things are wrong, if FMs or TMs are wrong, people die.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Hey, Shawn,
die.
You remember when I sent you that link to that manual?
Yeah.
I used one of them
Sorry.
Well,
yeah.
I used one of them to basically crush Chris Berry with. That was when I showed it to him, and then Riley came in and was like, "Yeah, Coriolis."
Yep.
What I've noticed is a flat earther will go up to someone who says that they're a sniper or something, and then they ask them, "Coriolis isn't real, huh?" Or "You don't use the Coriolis," and this person is most likely not expecting for this to be happening, so they're not answering the question with thought. They're not breaking down how a sniper shoots to these people, because I've heard them have conversations. It's not like you would think it would be. You would think you would make it clear what you're asking this question for, but they're not asking these questions when they're actually talking to Marines. There's a guy who says he's a sniper over in 24/7 who denies Coriolis.
He's a liar.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I've
I
gotten
mean,
in.
it
He's
might
that guy. He's a liar.
in some of the manuals, it might not actually say Coriolis,
Mm-hmm.
but it says rotation of the Earth.
Yep, rotation of the
Yep.
Earth.
Specifically.
Yep, it says all that. It covers it.
Any app, any ballistics app will take that into account. I mean,
What it wasn't a year until maybe a year until me being around that I found out that like a lot of the bullet manufacturers now have like what do you call it like divisions that their only thing they do is learn the trajectory of bullets, the ballistics, everything about it, everything a bullet could possibly do, or how to sight, or how to range, or test your guns, everything you can think of. They put everything down into data now. Like
yeah,
they can perfect your shot now. That's how crazy it is. But with your
Yeah.
bullets and the rifle, oh man, it's crazy.
yeah. Snipers even load their own rounds.
When,
I mean, SEALs do. Yeah, they load their own rounds too.
oh no, so they
Highly
know,
specific
exactly what it is.
tolerances.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
because I was thinking about that, and the main thing, like, yeah, the main thing I'm realizing is that when, for instance, airplanes, snipers, avid shooters that shoot long range, for the most part, there's a lot of shit going on, and just because they're not going Coriolis is the most important thing doesn't mean they don't think about it. If you've ever gone to the, I know this is gonna be a pretty crappy comparison, but if you ever gone to like a fair and played that duck game with the BB gun, you have to lead that duck. Well, all that stuff takes into account. Now try doing that at 1,000 yards and see if one thing is your main concern, which is Coriolis. I'm pretty sure there's so many things that you can, you know, tap in and try to figure out, and Coriolis is going to be negated in one of those steps, basically. Because when I was looking on that one of those manuals you sent me, B-Ball, there was, I don't remember them offhand, but there were 5 things that a shooter, like basically they want every shooter to run through their mind. And I noticed that Coriolis wasn't on there, but basically it was saying, know your shot, know where your bullet's gonna go. And then you go into these other manuals that may go a little detailed on this end of it and say something else. They're not trying to prove the Earth is a globe, so they're not thinking we need to add the rotation of Earth over and over and over again. By the time, you got to remember, by the time a sniper is in the field, you're ringing right now, B-Ball. Yeah, I can hear you vibrating. So just unmute when you're done. Yeah, so it's by the time a sniper is reading those manuals that we were looking at, and by the time they're out there on the field, they pretty much have an idea and have gone through all this. Snipers have to go to school before they can become a sniper. It's not like they just go, you're a good shooter. Here's a sniper rifle. You and your buddy go out in the middle of nowhere and shoot something. No, it doesn't work that way. They learn a shit ton before they go out and start sniping. They got to know everything they need to know. They need to figure out how to range something sometimes on a right away. When I was because I read through that manual, and basically a sniper and his scout pretty much plan out the whole mission, the shots, everything to work precisely as it needs to. That's like why snipers are snipers. Otherwise, they just send anybody out and shoot. So be like, go get him, Tiger.
Yeah.
No, these are the elite shooters. These are the guys that don't want. These are the guys they train to not have to get up under somebody and then get away. They're supposed to be ghosts. And you think that Coriolis is like their main objective? No, they're trying to get the hell out of there. So what do? They train these soldiers to not have to stop, think, and ponder. They teach them to react. It's just the way it is. And unless you're a sniper, you're not going to understand. I'm not a sniper. I don't understand. I just read about it, and I read a lot of testimonies of snipers, so I know what they're saying. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I've shot long range. I suck so bad, like I didn't even hit a target. I never made it to the target. That's how bad it was. So I get how hard it is. And that whole Coriolis thing, that's just a minor adjustment that can be taken subconsciously by that point. It's just my opinion. Let me go ahead and link one more time. I'm gonna
I've
make sure.
been to school with snipers. I've lived with them.
And they're a breed of their own. A
Yeah,
breed.
it's a whole new way of killing. I mean, it's personal. You
And
actually see the person's face that you're eliminating.
yeah, and I wanted to touch on that because you guys were talking about it last stream, and I think it's so disingenuous to badmouth a soldier. Yeah, there's been accounts of things that are bad that have happened, but you got to realize that in a government or a like a military, all of them branched together, the millions that are there, like these are like just like handfuls of people that are just dumbass people that happen to be there. A lot of people go into the Marines because they don't have a choice, and some of those people still don't learn to be adults. It happens, but the majority in the 90 percentiles are fucking dedicated people who only give a fuck about everyone in this chat, everyone sitting at home, and their families. So to sit there, go ahead.
There was an interesting quote from Orson Scott Card in Ender's Game, the book, the movie, where he said he asked him to sign up, and he said, "I thought you already owned me." And he said, "Well, for enlisted men, cannon fodder is fine, but for officers, we prefer volunteers."
Yeah, it's crazy. I was trying to remember what I was going to say about it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So I don't like these depictions. So like the movies. I watched I'm not sure if you remember the movie. It was the guy, the sniper that had the longest shot, and then got home, and then opened like a PTSD type situation, like a place, and then he ended up being killed. A lot of bad stuff came behind it, and so I didn't really I didn't watch the movie too much. I kind of watched it a little bit and then turned it off. But I actually got the opportunity to read Chris Kyle's book, and I think that was a little bit more on point. It was a little bit more him than movie. You know what I mean? And he really went into the what it takes to be dropped off in the middle of nowhere. That's a nice ass bike right there. Is that the bike you're taking around? You're muted right now. Unmute yourself. I muted you when you were vibrating earlier.
Yeah, that's my bike.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I want to do. I wanted to get a bike. I just don't want to own a bike. Insurance. Oh fuck, that'd be so bad. But yeah, let me get off this part. In a nutshell, respect servicemen. You understand that when here's how I see it, and I've talked to a lot of Marines, so I know this is pretty much how it works. If martial law happens, they are not going to put your families in camps. You want to know why? Because then that means their families have to do the same. It's not going to happen. But you want to know what you need to worry about are those private militaries paid to do whatever the fuck they're paid to do. They're the ones who make our servicemen and women look bad, period.
Fucking Blackwater.
Yeah, well, shit. Remember, Shawn, we were looking up over all those different companies. Most of them changed names. Blackwater, it's not even Blackwater anymore.
Yeah, they're trying to give Eric Prince more power right now. I mean,
and it's crazy because when the Iraq War started, I don't know what it was. I think it was probably a way for America to try to make it seem like it was okay. But they actually came out with a big report about the fact that they had hired a lot of private militaries. And it was like almost them showcasing what they paid for. And then the war started, and you start hearing about all these horrific shit going down. And a lot of people didn't realize that it wasn't our men and women. It was literally these private renegade militaries that don't go by any rules but their own. I was reading some documents about a bunch of incidents that happened, and most of these incidences, it was private militaries in U.S. fatigues, and I thought
Yeah.
that was the no-no out there.
I don't know. I don't know what the ROE is out there. I have no idea.
It's insane. Like I said, I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. I appreciate that you have. So thank you guys. Bottom of my heart, man.
More
Um,
more sweat and training means less blood in combat.
yeah. Well, that's the main thing. I know you guys. I know Shawn. I know when you served, and I know B-ball. I know you guys bust your ass just for people that don't even know. And thank you. And that's to anybody that serves. I mean, realistically, uh, people got to stop playing this shill games and your government. It's like, yeah, the government agency that does want to protect you. Trust me. Just like when we go to war and then people from whatever country we're invading looks at us like we're the evil people. I'm not invading your country. The government's doing that. Unfortunately, they do it from behind a desk and they send our loved ones. That's the problem. I think we should go back to the day when the president was the general and he was standing in the front line too, fighting for us. I mean, you want to run the country, you should be out there. That'd be nice.
Yep.
But realistically, that'll never happen. It's all, as far as I know, it's all started and ended behind a desk. That's all it really is. It's pitiful. But yeah, see some people in the chat talking about the Coriolis idea thing we were talking about. Dabbing good, man. If you want to come up on the panel, you don't have to worry about people being disrespectful. I don't run that type of stream. It's not going to be like Jose's where I just let everything go. I'm a lot more, I make sure it's a little bit more respectful because of the fact that I see where that worry would be.
I come in from a background with the whole thing. I'm an Army brat, a lifetime Army brat. I went in after my dad or before my dad retired. I was born into it. I was more hippie than officer's kid, as it tends to happen. And I was raised Republican.
Oh wow.
And later on, I got out, uh, uh, be, uh, went from Republican to Democrat to liberal. And yeah, and I became homeless and then got off the street. So yeah, I've seen every possible angle you could possibly see it from. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, congratulations to getting yourself back on your feet, and
yeah,
that's another issue
it happens.
that's huge. That soldiers come home and then the help they get.
Yeah. Well, I got put on the street because of Bush, because of his economy he created. So
Yeah. Well, again, they're all for their own pockets, and
yeah,
in the end, if they do start helping, it unfortunately looks more like what do you call it, a publicity stunt rather than a giving a fuck, and
exactly,
that's a real sad part about it.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, there are certain presidents that have deported active duty and uh, veterans. So
yeah,
I won't mention any names, but
it's very odd how they just don't. I don't even know what it would take to fix the problem, but it's definitely people that come home. It's not helped.
no,
I saw someone in the chat. I think it was Dabin was saying, he agreed that like people that start, really start the war should be, on the front lines with you guys. And I mean, like it's as real as it gets because it's really easy to send some, people to do what you're bidden from behind a desk, knowing damn well you can go to bed, eat dinner, and not give a fuck. And
yeah,
that's, I don't even know how another solution to it, but man, personal gain is not a reason to send people to war. And as far as I'm concerned, I can't name a war that wasn't for the benefit of government, not the people. What does invading Iraq really do for us when it comes down to it? Rather than what better can we have from it? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little morale patch that uh, they sell, and I don't know where they're wearing. I guess I'd have to ask B-ball, but where they'd actually wear them, whether it's like off duty or whatever. But It's a little patch that has a 1 and an asterisk on it.
Like the one you put in the chat just now?
Yeah, 1 asterisk.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
And that was, and you said that was from what?
That's a little morale patch, little Velcro patch you can put on your uniform or whatever on the back of your hat or side or whatever.
Okay, I see. Oh yeah, they actually have them. I see them.
Yeah.
Looking at them. I'm trying to find it, but
Yeah.
like a really tiny one. Don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to find one right now, but I don't see one big enough to be able to see it.
They're about one. They're about 1 and 1/4 inch square, something like that.
Is it?
They're Velcro backed, and they stick on the Velcro strip on your shirt or your hat or whatever. We didn't have those when I was in. We were in BDUs.
Okay.
That was our uniform.
Yeah, I think I wish a lot more people were behind what's going on and looked into what's going on to the real truth of it. Because unfortunately, like a lot of people, I lost a lot of good friends in the run through Fallujah. I actually lost a good portion of my friends in that the Fallujah run. So when it came down to how they were sending our troops in, I really started focusing on it. And at the time, I was still working on Camp Pendleton with my pops, and so I was around a lot of Marines. So I got to talk to them that had gone out there and come back, and it's literally just not okay. It's not okay how the military is ran these days, or that I know of at least. I don't want to say these days, like I knew about it before, but I don't know what a solution would be. I mean, it's
I don't know.
It's not the president. As far as I know, it's the attorneys that basically okay and do all that good, all that stuff like that. I mean, at worst, the like all the what do you call it, declassified documents that have been coming out. A lot of them are just pressed at the military, and again, people aren't realizing that it's not our men and women that are doing these shady things. It's the people that are giving the orders.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I can see it as they're giving orders. They don't know that they're going to take over an oil rig that just because, you know what I mean? They're given reasons. They're told, hey, we're doing this because it's a high priority for terrorism or blah blah blah. They don't know that the government just wants to make sure that place is secure for themselves. That's not what's on their mind. That's not what they're told. People need to start understanding that and stop bad mouthing the military.
And people say that that like the generals and stuff just do what they're told. Not always. I mean, Admiral Nimitz, one of his famous quotes is, "I've never followed an order that I didn't agree with."
Yeah, well, the Gulf of Tonka, I think someone pointed out. That was one of the No, wait, is that it? Yeah, I think that was it. That was the one where a lot of people in the villages were killed and stuff. But if it wasn't for the fact that a platoon of Marines said, "F you, we're not doing this. We're not lying for you," that stuff probably wouldn't come out. But the realization is that's that listen to your commanding officer that's drilled into you. And again, there's good in that, because typically I would assume that these higher ranking officers have been in this shit before. So that the emotion of the stress of it can be portrayed from that person.
I mean, any organization that's made up of people can be corrupted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, people are vulnerable. Their emotions get the best of them. They do stupid things, but you can't hold that against an entire organization.
Yeah.
Of good people.
Yeah. It's not okay. I don't even know a real solution or reason or exact reason for why it's so not okay. Besides, it's just not okay. They risked their lives for all of us, and they shouldn't have to fucking defend themselves for what they volunteered to do. You know what I mean? You got to sign that dotted line on your own. What's up?
Exactly.
Hey, if I don't talk that much, it's because I'm at work. So.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No worries.
I mean, so I'm just gonna mute myself and listen.
Okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Feel that get a second to jump in, right. More than welcome to.
I think it's cool. You're taking us along on your ride. That's awesome.
And one of the things I think, uh, and I kind of ended up with this on that part, is you guys got to realize that if we didn't have a military, well, here's one thing that it just popped in my head that I actually know why we can't stop. If we stopped going to war, the issue now would be the fact that there'd be millions of jobs just gone. Period. And unfortunately, we've I don't know how other countries work around this, but I know the United States has structured everything around wartime. We have to be in war. My father explained to me right away, or when I was younger, that uh, bullets need to be made, bullets need to be wasted, otherwise the bullet manufacturers go out of business. The weapons, rifles and everything go out of business, et cetera, et cetera. He said if we were to stop production of these things, millions would go out, but wouldn't have jobs, and then what? And then you think back and go, well, yeah, I mean, we are a country that is structured around our military. The fact that we are the most, we have the most powerful military is kind of what America runs off. It backs itself with, you know what I mean? It's almost like you have to realize that kind of have to know we're going to be going war and then be happy for it, I guess. Yeah. Because if realistically, if there is no war, millions of people go out of the jobs, whether it be the people that build, that make the bullets, or they make the rifles, or they make the uniforms, or they make, it doesn't matter. Anything that would be used for it, they have to make it. It has to go somewhere, and then it has to be, made more. But then there's a whole bunch of signs where that, which is understandable, which is, we have to really acknowledge, to the point where, well, the military, or not military, government officials have put themselves in the position to make money 1,000 times over. Dick Cheney, that was the biggest thing, the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dick Cheney comes around and how do you have something to do with going to war, but once you blow some shit up, you get to fix it and get paid to fix it? That was crazy to me. How does that work? How do they get away with it? And those are the type of things I'm really, really pissed about when it comes down to, conspiracies. Because, exposing a conspiracy that is like, in the archives is good. It's cool. But why aren't we trying to fix the things we know are happening now that are not even so much conspiracy as in just the government hushing? It's ridiculous to me as far as I'm concerned. My instance would be like Obama. He put us in a what's called a somewhat, it's not called, but it's like a somewhat martial law where they're not policing anything, but any one of us can be detained because of this paper, the documents he signed, under the guise that, we thought we had a lot of terrorists here. But when you look at the data, it's like we're not seeing these events happen that this new bill, or whatever you would call it, would be passing to allow anybody to be detained at any time without question. Doesn't make sense.
Yep.
You go through, you think about it, and it's like Guantanamo Bay. Like, I get they're getting a lot of terrorists, but I'm betting more than anything, there's a lot of fucking people in Guantanamo that either there was shit going down in their area. And what would you do if a bunch of foreigners came and raided your country? Yep. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, kick their ass. Try to.
And that's the reality. I think the Iraq War, for one, was definitely a point. It was a war we couldn't win, or I guess it would be more against the Taliban or ISIS. I'm sorry. That would be more of a pointless war, because just like, and I'm not trying to clump it together, but when it like where I say I don't want to talk to flat earthers that are based in religion because I can't have that same belief. Well, we can't have a same war with somebody if they don't understand or care to understand the rules of engagement. You know what I mean? Or the Geneva Convention. Like, if none of those things matter to them, it's not a conventional war anymore.
Yep. We can't lower our standards. We just can't. I mean,
well, like I said, we're set up. We were set up so we have to be engaging. We're set up that we have to look and make people feel like we are the military force, which we are.
Yeah.
But
Well, rules of engagement over there need to change. They
100%.
definitely need to fucking change.
Yeah. See, again, like you couldn't change any of those rules of engagement and it make anything better there though. That was literally a place we should not have stepped
It
foot.
would keep less of our people from getting killed. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there was a lot of things we've done and a lot of wars that we have been in or engaged in that I probably agreed with. But I mean, a buddy of mine, my buddy Randy, he was the one that was killed in Fallujah. He called me about 2 weeks before they went in, and it was like he basically explained to me his platoon, because they weren't even like, they weren't Marines, they were Army. His job was not, they weren't even on the front lines. They were actually, I believe, a week behind the Marines. And when they went through, he told me, like, to get through Fallujah, they told him, just everyone that was driving, just get the hell through this town. That's all we're trying to get through right now. We don't want to stop and engage. We want to get the hell through. And to me, that seems like the worst idea ever, especially a week past, of even being there. We'd already had reports of guys coming, the bad guys coming back to the towns after we left them. We knew what was going on. And I just, like you said, a lot of good friends passed away for some bullshit. And I wish we could just do something about it to slow it down at the very least, or make them a lot more accountable. Because I don't know about a lot of other presidents, but I'm just not thinking Trump gives a fuck.
No, he doesn't.
That's just the reality of it. I always like the idea that if you're a president, you probably should have had to serve some time. I would argue, some time in the service. I think that'd be the best.
Yeah.
Or even the attorneys that sign and do all this dotted line crap. They'd probably be more understanding too if one of them had to go and they had to pick two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But kind of going on. Let's get back to what we were doing before. I want to talk about the ISS, a little better of us, pick the mood back up again. I wanted to go over the ISS, the size, the everything we need to go over so people understand what we're staring at, how it works. Because I'm sorry, I was talking to Dabin Good earlier, and I brought up Jeranism, and I'm sorry, man. You don't see you don't record 3 transfers and not have a clue what the hell you're looking at. In the ones he showed, the last one he showed especially was insanely clear. It was it was almost not even bullshit. It was almost better than Reds.
I mean, if you do that, if you film that yourself and you see it for yourself and you still doubt, you're an idiot, a complete idiot.
Well, put it this way, I didn't see the ISS. I saw the panels, the reflection of the sun's light off the panels and everything.
Yeah.
And I knew what it was. Instantly, I saw it. Because I'm telling you guys now, that thing darted across that sky like I have never seen. And again, I've made this analogy trying to explain stuff to like Seek and Find. You can, if you're standing next to the freeway and the car flies by you at 80 miles an hour, it's going to zip past you. But if you're 2-3 miles away from that same car, it's going to look slow.
Yeah.
Well, at 17,500 miles an hour, there is no such thing as slow. So find me something that far away that can move that fast like it does. And then, then we can start talking about it not being there or not. I've heard flat earthers cede to the fact that it is there and just be like, it's unmanned. Okay, who cares if it's unmanned? Understand, it is traveling that fast, and it could not do that in the atmosphere.
Right.
And remember, the closer the ISS is, in flat earthers' opinion of where it is really, understand that it becomes more and more impossible to have that observation if it was in our atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere would tear it apart. That's all there is to it. So if that's the case, and you still believe it's in the atmosphere, you would need to show me something that could possibly move from point A to point B in the sky as fast as the ISS does.
Yeah.
And And Dabbing Good. No, we don't need the ISS to prove the Earth is a magical spinning ball. We just need you to understand that space is there. We have people in space, and there is no. For me personally, it's not. There's no dome. And the fact that personally, I don't even understand how you logically deduce that it's not real. Like, what are you basing this off of? That's my big thing. It's just not. Doesn't make sense to me. It's not. It's not an honest opinion. That's for sure. Trying to find. And I mean, they keep saying, show me it. I've shown dozens of people footage of transits. Uh, the my favorite one is the 24-hour live feed. Now, I've seen this happen, and it was funny when it did. So, a bunch of people in the server, debate Flat Earth or more, they were looking through all these, right, and came to the conclusion or realized that there's like 3 main ones on YouTube, that 2 of them aren't even NASA. They're not. They're no ones. They're just regular people that find a feed and then live stream it. Well, a lot of them are disingenuous. There's a couple of them that will tell you it's alive, but in the description tell you how it's pre-recorded. So if they're not matching up, you're probably on one of those, for one, and it will say in the description. For 2, forget that. Don't look at a YouTube live feed, especially if you're trying to see if it's even real, in your mind and stuff, because you're looking at something you don't even believe is there. So all of a sudden, everything's a lie to you right off the bat. And it's not okay. What I'm doing is I'm right now I'm kind of in the middle of getting to a tracker that I use myself when I'm doing that kind of stuff, because it's fun to track not only the ISS, but there's satellites everywhere up there that you can. I haven't been able to because I don't have the equipment to do it, but every day, if you have clear skies, there's something you can go look at, you can track and find every day.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. Actually, in about 2 minutes, I'm gonna.
If you have the right equipment, the day too.
Say again?
If you have the right equipment in the daytime too, you can actually like look straight at the sun if you have the right telescope or filter.
Yeah. So this is the tracker I like to go to. Let me go ahead and make the screen bigger for you guys on the chat. Always keep forgetting that I see it just fine, but I gotta make it so everyone can see it too. Okay, so this is the tracker that I use. I guess the chat doesn't help me, so I'm gonna turn that off for half a second. This is the tracker I like to use. It's the Into-Y0.com tracker. I like this one because I'm able to choose between different ones, and for myself, I have my information already locked into it. So at any time, I can just go to watch. I can see where the ISS is. For instance, actually, right now it's about to cross. It's actually about to pass over me right now, which is pretty cool. The color, see, and the one I like. This is why I like it so much, because these different colors here, literally tell me the type of experience, like view I'll have. Apparently, the one that's about to happen for me is supposed to be excellent. I don't understand how, because it's the middle of the day for me, and I don't even know where I'd look. But that's like Shawn was saying. It may be transiting the sun right now in my area. I don't know.
I use an app called. Let me find it. ISS Transit Predictor, or ISS Transit Prediction.
Oh, okay. So you can when it pinpoints transits, then.
Right. You put in your location. You've got like a certain distance, like a radius around your area that it'll go to, in a certain like 64 days. And so you generate a prediction after you put in your information. And when you get it, let's see, takes about a half a minute, and then you view the prediction, and it gives you a map of where to go to be in the path of a solar or lunar transit, and exactly when it's going to be, and where to look and everything. So Well, you look at the sun or the moon. That's kind of dumb. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Where to
it's
look? Look at sun, stupid.
yeah,
Thank you, Mr. App.
yes. I mean, my main thing. So, for instance, like I was saying, I was talking to Dabin Good. He was saying that it's not the ISS isn't real. My question would be then, what are they tracking? And,
Yeah.
and again, I'd wish he'd jump on. I know he's not afraid to be on panels. He debated on fucking Jose's channel. Wait, he debated you, right, Shawn? Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
And we're supposed to have a second one here whenever he sets up a time with Jose to talk about all the quote mining he did and misquotes he did. So
yeah. Well, I only remember a little bit of it, and to be honest, the same thing I've always said. You get angry and you divert from the discussion at hand. No one listens anymore. No one's taking your information in anymore. So,
fuck him.
That's what I mean. Realistically, I didn't like. I don't even know if he realizes that he lost mainly on himself. I mean, you had obviously more evidence, but everyone just realized that, like, what the fuck is going on here? Shawn's supposed to be the one blowing up right now. He's supposed to be the one freaking out, but he's not. It was actually the other guy, and that's odd. It's not normal. It doesn't help, is what it is.
No. That's why I'm a completely different person in debate.
Yeah, like I told you, man. I told you, I hit you up before you went in. I'm like, hey, dude, just be calm. Just that's all. And apparently, you knew it, and you acted according. And like I said,
you didn't have to tell me that. I already knew that.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know you had a different style. Like you go off all rough, and you're like,
yeah, no problem. I understand. But yeah, I'm willing to go. I've got one right here I could talk about here, where he says he quoted Lincoln Barnett, The Universe and Dr. Einstein's second revised edition, 1957, page 73. Remember that, Davin? No physical experiment ever proved that the Earth actually is in motion. Here's the actual quote. In the special theory of relativity, Einstein studied the phenomenon of motion and showed that there appears to be no fixed standard in the universe by which man can judge the absolute motion of the universe or any other moving system. Motion can be detected only as a change in position with respect to another body. We know, for example, that the Earth is moving around the sun at the rate of 20 miles per second. The change in season suggests this fact. But until 4,000 years ago, men thought the shift, blah, 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 blah. So he misquoted that. So there's one for you, Dab. And you want to go on debate and go further with it? Or would you like to kind of say, yeah, I kind of quote mine?
I mean, it's the thing, and I said this on Jose's. That last night? I think it was last night. It's to the point now where, guys, you got to show first something. I get it. You're not going to have it all figured out. I'm not even nowhere near asking for a model. But when do the questions stop and you start answering questions?
And what's funny is he's now using a something I said as a quote to prove that he won the debate. And my quote is, when you lose the debate let's see, what was it? You lost the debate because you had to quote mine to win the debate. It wasn't that you won it. You had to do it in order to try and win the debate. That's the quote, Davin, and you know it. And he keeps using it. And the irony is that he lost the debate because he quote mine, because he misquoted people. So yeah, and then he's misquoting me to prove that he won the debate. That's just I'm sorry, I'm choking on irony.
Well, that's the thing. As far as I was concerned, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear what he said. I heard him yelling.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's more of you should be realizing how No, I don't want to say it is. It to me insane how for sure flat Earth is. Because when I realized um, it's not flat, the first thing I wanted to do is explain what I had realized and why. And and if and in that I've now realized that you have to want to know truth to find the truth. It's not
Oh yeah.
it's not just about, oh, you hear it and you just believe it, because there are plenty of things that we can walk through and explain how we get to these observations. And again, if when I was a flat earther, if I felt that I had found something that was good for flat Earth, I told everyone, and I wanted to get it out. I wanted to even debate about it. Again, I didn't realize what I was doing, but at the same time, why aren't the people that are so damn sure? Why aren't you up here right now, showing how sure you are and why?
Yeah. CGI Ranty seems to follow me around. Where's he? He never clicks the link.
Well, that's the other thing. Why aren't the Nathan, Ranty, Riley, um, you name it? Why you don't think it's weird that they don't provide anything more than everyone else?
Yeah.
I mean, if Nathan's always right, then why hasn't he cracked this case yet?
Yeah. Yeah. True. I mean, and what's funny is they throw it on us. They say, "Well, you've had like 5 years to prove the globe." No, dude, you've had 5 years to debunk the globe.
And so, like I said, it's only
That's
phenomenons that science explains. If you don't believe me, I have a list right now of natural phenomenons that happen on Earth. I I guarantee you, no matter what claim you say, I'll be able to find it here. And if I find it here, that only means your information is from the science you keep saying isn't real.
yep. I gotta go pee.
Thanks, Shawn. You could have just muted and
Well,
walked away.
all right.
Let's see.
Do you think Shawn would actually mute for that, Shawn?
Say again?
So do you think Shawn would actually mute for that?
I would hope
You
so.
know he had to make that announcement.
Well, no, that's the first time he's announced it to me. So, hey, Chris, if you want to jump on, man, we could talk about your experiment and what you did come up with, the conclusion you came up with. Because again, I'm kind of confused on what you were going for and where your success in that went. Because I see it as the albedo index would have been high on that because your floor was shiny. But I would have asked to see more. But I mean, again, I'm very happy with the fact that you did an honest test. That's all there is to it. No one can say you did anything disingenuous in that test. That's all we were trying to tell you when we said film everything. But I do know when you first started, it was a flat Earth proof to you, and now it's not. I kind of wanted to see why it's not so much for you, just to understand what you realized in the situation. But I mean, if you don't want to, you don't want to. It's okay.
There you go. At
No.
least I'm muted.
Well, at least so when we go into the ISS, and whether or not it's there, it obviously will bring up that issue of, do you believe in a dome? Because obviously, if you probably believe in a dome on flat Earth. That's why you don't believe space is real or the ISS is in space.
Yeah.
The really bad part was, excuse me. The really bad part is that for instance, for myself, I was stuck in a spot where I was trying to figure things out and I had to. I didn't get a choice. The reason I had to figure things out was because I knew space was there. GPS worked, so satellites were there. I had to figure out how the hell all that worked in something that wasn't being orbited like I was told. The issue that I came into is I can find 1,000 technologies, but none of them worked. You know what I mean? So I had to see to the fact that, okay, well, I went through a lot of paths actually when it came down to it. It was like, can act, hang on. What does it say, Damon? He says, it just gives me hangouts. can't access your camera. That in the top right, there's a little camera, Dabin, that you have to allow when you get to the Hangout. I guess I don't know if you've been on Hangouts. I don't know why it would be so different for you now. You can turn the camera off. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, but I know it hasn't been an issue for you in the past, so I don't know. 1 second, kind of taking care of a phone call real quick.
Shout your
Hey, Shawn
pussy again, Chuck.
What?
All right, sorry about that, guys. I had a important text message I had to take care of. So Chris said that it was never it was never a flat Earth proof, just a flat Earth possibility. That sounds like a flat Earth proof that didn't work out.
What, the photo?
Yeah, I guess.
Mountain
No. The whole reason he was doing the test, he said.
Oh.
But I thought it was to replicate the Mount Rainier picture, and I've been saying this since the first time I saw it. The freaking slow sun is in the picture. It's that. I mean, what are we talking about? I don't get it. Says I can't even access the Hangout options. That's weird. No one else had an issue getting in, but okay.
Is he trying to get in?
Yeah, but he's saying it doesn't work.
Well, I just got in.
I know.
I just got in.
Everyone just got in.
Apologies for my late arrival, by the way.
My original joke was going to be at least I muted so you wouldn't hear the screaming. I got problems.
No, it means it's possible on the flat Earth.
Dealing with Chris in the chat. Chris, you can come up if you want, man. Hey, Chris, if you don't want to come on because there's everyone here, I'll kick everyone off and we'll just me and you on here, man. But I really want to figure out what you're trying to. You're saying it wasn't a proof, but it was a flat Earth possibility. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I think he's arguing with True Blue in the live chat because True Blue told asked Chris earlier how the sun could travel at different speeds. Here it is. Chris Berry, seriously, the sun traveling over the flat Earth has to cover more distance during the southern hemisphere summer. Simple facts. I thought you said you were educated.
Well, that's something that we've brought up before. It definitely would have to vary in its speeds from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer.
Yep.
It just has to do it.
Yep.
It would have to. I mean, literally, we would be watching the sun in the days change. And when I say the days change, and I know before I made the analogy and I was wrong in how I did it, so I'll try to do it better now. But in the time we have of daylight would be so drastically different between the two that it would be insane. And that's as good of an analogy I can give you without almost fucking it up. So, but the realization of it, like, because last time I explained it, and it was like, well, the days are the same, and I didn't take into account the North Pole. I didn't take into account the different areas that have 24-hour light and all that stuff. But because I was basically just trying to give a general point of the days are, typically for me, San Diego are the same basically. I get the hour change and gets a little darker a little earlier here and there, but typically it's the same. I know what to expect basically. If it was different, would it be once it got to the Tropic of Cancer, the days would be half as long. Half.
Somebody tried to give me their explanation the other night on the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord that to imagine the sun.
Wait. You can go in there? You can go in there?
Yeah.
See, that's not fair, because if I go in there and they know it's me, I'll get instantly boot because they know who I am. And the funny part is I was over in their YouTube chat last night, and I've been calling them out for a while now, and I'd like them to, stop being such wusses. I mean, they are so confident. Huh?
Jimmy can't post any of my links on their YouTube anymore.
Well, you're not supposed to, on their YouTube. Well, that's the thing. See, the thing is that I was a flat earther, and me and Helio, the guy that runs those streams, are good friends still. So I have a wrench there. So I got a little bit more leeway and less worry when I go over there to the YouTube chat over there.
But yeah, I'm not blocked from their Discord yet, but I can't do the voice chat anymore.
Yeah, see, that whole thing it's weird. I don't like 24/7 in the fact that they literally keep guys that have knowledge and experience in this. They keep them out. That's why you'll never see the bigger names like Soundly or Big Blue. Like you'll never see those guys in there because they know who they are and they know that they'll crush them in their own server. They want younger kids that don't have a good idea about the globe so they can crush them and teach them. They think it's sad to me. It's completely ridiculous. How you doing, Devin? I'm not sure if you could hear me.
It took if he's mobile, it took mine like 30 seconds to catch up before I got audio.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, he may be in the setup part of it. I'm not sure. Oh, we'll get it. If he gets it going, he'll talk. Yeah, but it's there's a lot of things that we need to be. I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead.
they told me to imagine it so it doesn't change speed because it's on a giant. To imagine it on a fan blade and it's just sliding in and out.
Yeah.
I said it still changes angular speed.
Okay.
Wait. What did you just say?
Where's the mechanism behind that?
Wait. What did they say?
They told me to imagine the movement on the sun over the flat Earth, and I can't remember who it was. To imagine it as the sun being on like the fan blade of a fan and moving in and out during the seasons from the equator.
Okay.
To try
that's the way to turn back. It, I guess.
The sun would still change. It would still change angular speed. No, it stays the same speed. It can't. The angular speed would still change when you move from the center of the fan blade out or in.
Yeah. Let's pretend the sun does do that. How come we don't see it doing that? We would see the sun speeding up, slowing down. Days would be drastically different.
Well, this is why they never model it, because you can't. You can't model it.
Well, that's the thing. It gets really irritating.
Their argument for it was that it still turns.
You're all muffled.
Their argument was that it still turns the same RPM. Oh shit! Sorry.
But the thing
Their argument was it still turns the same RPM.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
No, it doesn't.
And then there's other factors to this too. I mean, if that's what you really believe is happening, and it circles over your head like that, then you'd have to explain why the Terminator line doesn't work. You can't have a Terminator line that lights up half the Earth on a flat Earth. It doesn't work that way. Otherwise, everything north of it would see the sun up in the air in the dark still. It looked like a night light in the distance.
That's why whenever they show that particular version of their flat Earth, they show the sun and the moon and a Terminator in between. But how does a low and close sun show its light in with a straight Terminator line? I mean, it can't.
And we can verify that Terminator line we're talking about is where it's at any given time. All you gotta do is just coordinate. That's it. It's not even a situation of, well, no, it could be like, no, it really can't. It really wouldn't be like that. Not to mention, or along that edge, the Terminator line. Actually, let me go ahead and pull it up because it's impossible. It literally cannot happen.
Nope, it can't. The sun would have to choose where it projects its light out to. Yeah, this can't happen.
I'm trying to find a GIF that spins.
Well, even when Cool Hard Logic tried to do it on one of his videos, putting a lampshade around it and everything, it still just doesn't work. It doesn't repeat what we see in real life.
So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and at least we'll have something. Again, no one's saying you guys are claiming this as a model. I'm just using it as a reference for right now. So see where the middle, I'm gonna see, or where my cursor is. You can kind of see right in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything along that line would see the sun in the air at night. I need that up all the time, no matter what. I need to see an observation of that. If not, then you guys gotta rule that out. You can't just keep saying it's how it is.
Yeah, my aunt would look at that as an explanation and go, "Oh, God love his little heart."
We see that's why we keep coming back to the same thing. There's only one shape, one geometrical shape that explains everything about this that we see,
Mhm.
and that's a ball. On any other shape, it doesn't work. It can't work.
No.
I gotta try to find the map or it's like a program that I found online that basically it takes an image and it wraps it around a ball. And what I was doing is I was trying to play with it and trying to see like if you're able to get different views or different aspects of this by using it. And again, guys, I was flat Earth when I did this. I realized that I was able to put any projection onto a ball and it worked. Obviously, where the South Pole was all wonky because that's where the picture comes together. But here's the kicker to it: if you try to take a Earth picture and flatten it out, it doesn't work.
Well, even I watched Nathan Oakley one day on his Hangout say, well, he said things work better, or the flat map works better when wrapped on a globe than the globe does flattened out. That was his explanation of why the flat Earth is real.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's exactly what we're saying. It doesn't work when you flatten it out.
Well, it took a while for them to realize what they were doing, but when they were all on the AE map like a motherfucker, and everyone was going, "Hey, you do realize that is the globe taken off the ball, so that people that navigate can read it."
Yep.
It's not.
It's hard to carry a globe in your glove box.
Yep.
I thought everybody did, Shawn.
I did for a while too. I was like, I don't get it.
It was one of the videos that I think is it Joss Lee's did, where he shows how the azimuthal equidistant projection works, and then he shows all the different variations of it. Because of course, the one that you've got there now that we're all familiar with, it's centered on the North Pole. But if you do it centered on the South Pole, then the ice wall's made up of the North Pole, and you can center it. You can basically do the same projection centered anywhere in the world, and all you'll get is a different looking map.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, because that's the problem. Right? That's what people don't realise when they say, "Oh, there's the South Pole. It's an ice wall." No, because you've taken the other side of the globe and you've stretched it and flattened it out. But you can do that centered on any point on the Earth at all. You know, you can do it centered on Africa or Australia or North America or anywhere you like, because all it is a projection.
Yep.
But I think his particular, one of his videos, I can't remember which one it is, but the graphics show it very, very clearly. You know, this, you know, pulling a sphere out and ending up with that sort of circular map that they all keep using. That's all it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to see it. Well, they don't want to see it, do they?
No, they don't want. Yeah, they do not want to see it. It's not that they can't; they don't want to.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
No, I
share
don't
my
want to.
screen again. Because I want to go over this. I wanted to go over this actually a few streams ago, but I completely forgot for some reason. These are basically the three models that we run everything off of. You know, unless it does, you know, and you have these models, it's the observations, evidence, and trial and error that basically gets them to this point. What validates it is the fact that we can predict everything on it. But I wanted to go over this because there's a real big misconception, because I've heard people say, you know, they have so many models because they have to, you know, make it work for everything. But that's not how these models work.
Yeah.
So
Can I make a side comment?
absolutely.
Only in the Navy would you have like an admiral named Clinch. That's a Navy admiral name right there.
Oh yeah, I see right there. Yeah. So in this document, so basically it's explaining the three common models that we use. It'd be the spherical or globe model, the ellipsoid, and the real Earth model. So, and I've read through this, and the names in themselves give you a very false sense of what this even is, right? So there's a spherical model is formed, encountered in elementary discussions. It is quite good for some proximities. The world is approximately a sphere. The sphere is the shape of minimize the potential energy of the gravitational attraction of all and little mass elements for each other. The direction of gravity is towards the center of Earth. So what they're saying is when you're looking at the spherical model, it's not what is exactly going on. It is what a layman's way of explaining where we live and how where everything's positioned.
Yeah.
So you're not getting, so when you get a globe at a Walmart, you're getting a spherical model of Earth. It's not going to give you the exact dimensions and how everything is. It's going to give you a layman's version so you can have a good base idea of what you're looking at. So then we'll go to the next one. The ellipsoidal model is a better representation of Earth because the Earth rotates. This generates other forces on the mass elements and distorts the shape. The minimum energy form is now an ellipse rotated about the polar axes. This is called the ellipsoid. It's called a spheroid, spheroid. Yeah. The crater. I'm trying to look it up. I'm trying to like do it on my fucking Hangouts if I can do it up here now. Sorry. So
equatorial.
Hang on. I'm not there yet. Hang on. Oh shit, I am. Okay. The equatorial radius is longer than the polar axis by 23 kilometers. The direction of gravity does not point to the center of the Earth. It will still call the direction of a plumb bob down and uses it to define coordinates. So this isn't going to be the model that you're trying to prove or show all the evidence you can for how gravity works. It's going to be something you use for more real world, like not real world, but more where is everything more exactly. Now you're going to have this weird shaped model that doesn't look like a ball. It's going to be more realistic to what Earth is doing. But again, there's still things on this model that you wouldn't want to use it for. Then we come to the third one, the real world model.
Hard time getting in.
I don't understand what the issue is. As far as I know, is he hasn't allowed his computer to allow mic and audio settings. So as far as I know, he needs to either go to the top left where the Hangout is and right click it, and it should say allow stuff, and he needs to allow Hangouts. Or in the top right corner, like where I'm looking at mine, there's a little miniature camera there that if you go up and click on it, it's gonna ask you, do you want to allow or see? Look, oh yeah, you guys can't see it, but yeah, it says camera and microphone allowed. It basically it's all the permissions right there, and as long as you set those to allow, you should be able to be fine in here. Okay, so the real world is the next one, and it says there is a mass variation such as oceans and mountains. There are also inhomogenetics. The fuck under the surface. This caused not only
inhomogeneities.
What did I say? You read it, asshole. I suck at it. I know damn well I do.
Okay, the real world is not homogeneous. There are mass variations. Oh, bloody hell.
There you go.
Such as oceans and mountains. There are also inhomogeneities under the surface. No, I don't know what that means. These cause not only the mountains, but also variations in the gravity field. Thus is the measured down direction is changed. Well, that's not even proper English.
Well, it's the website it is.
Who fucking wrote this? This has been translated.
Space comma in there.
I want to know what that word is too. This is a part of research.
Is the measured down direct? That's just.
Thus is the measured down direction is changed. Yeah, there's that second is.
Thus the measured down direction changed.
James R. Clinch wrote this.
That's the guy who wrote it. Blame him. Hang on, I want to know what that word means first.
What, inhomogeneities?
Yeah.
It gets easier the more you say it.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't at all. Damn it! I just went off of it. It says something about not being uniformed. Okay, it says
Yes, if something is homogeneous, then it's uniform, isn't it? So
No.
presumably,
yeah.
if it's inhomogeneous, I mean, why use such big words when you can make it so much simpler?
Because
It's
they
like
want to
listening to
confuse
Riley.
people. Because this is like one of the reasons why this happens, where it literally people use this as their flat Earth facts, and the reality is they get to the same point we are right now, which we found something that doesn't make sense, and instead
Yeah.
of just going, oh well, that's it, that's all you go to. No, let's find a more of a credible source, because apparently the OC and or the naval whatever isn't a good source. I now know that. But that's the thing though. If you're only looking at one source, you're already not trying. I mean, what would be the point in that?
Oh yeah. No, the more sources, the better.
I mean, you only go to one porn site. Come on.
TMI. But
Broaden
you're
your
right. All right, let me see.
man.
So this is welcome to Earth Model. Let's see models. I don't know why people don't like. I enjoy this. Like, I'm gonna go to probably 10 more sites right now, and we're gonna figure this shit out. That's all I care about. Let's see what this says.
Oh, that's cool. It looks like this planet on an acid trip.
I'm pretty sure. It says animation of high resolution global geodynamic Earth model. Colors denote temperatures. Hot equals red, cold blue, with ISO surfaces. I don't even know what that is. Radial mean. Okay, so it's the
cross section of the interior.
Okay, that's what that
done
is.
in layers with the exterior held. Yeah, so you can see where you are on the planet. That's cool.
That's a pretty good graphic, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah, and I'll put this chat. I'm gonna put this link in both chats so you guys can have it too. Or if you guys want to look at it, check it out on your own. Again, like I said, I don't know if this is a model or this is the site that I want to go to just, confident in everything. Again, it's going to take a few sites to be confident in it. I know I'm on the other channel. Hang on 1 second. There it is. Okay, so again, let's see if we can find some good stuff in here.
In that.
See, like for instance, I know how topography works without even trying. I did that for many years, but that wouldn't be a good model for anything worth looking for. Let's see. Climate zones, coastals. So I want some like clear models. Let's see what the hell they got. And this is what I pretty much do when I do my research. Just kind of just start meandering through, and if you get to a spot that's not going to help me, then I got to move on. See, this is this is a program and have it on your own channel or whatever, I guess. And that's the funny part. I haven't even looked at the chat, but I can only imagine all the crap they're talking, like as if they have it all figured out. Because if you guys have never done this, it's not the easiest thing to find what you're looking for just by doing it live.
See, Amy Hogan says thank you for that link.
Yeah, because see, these are a bunch of, see, I'm in a freaking different language now. I ain't trying to do all that. Yeah, see, for like me on the live stream right now, this isn't going to be one that's going to work because you got to do too damn much in it. I'm trying to just find information so I can talk about it.
Barney Tearspell, the word you're looking for is heterogeneous.
Well, why don't you guys stop trying to correct me and come in here and do your damn stuff? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna try to share the link again. Because like I said, guys, this is the first time I'm like really looking for something, and it's hard to do it online while you're streaming. So I'm definitely trying to cut corners to do it, but in the sake of not.
Earth Jackal. Hey Sean G, when does a ball get big enough to hold water to the bottom of it?
to the bottom of it. What the hell?
There's no bottom.
Yeah, you need to
Those
ask.
don't have tops or bottoms.
Yeah, you would definitely need to ask that question correctly before we can answer the question.
Instead of asking how it sticks to the bottom, ask where the top is.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. So there's a lot of things we can talk about that makes like you need to understand that this is very important. If you guys keep saying water does not stick to the ball, you're saying that gravity isn't real. You guys have gone down the density path, doesn't work. Gone down the buoyancy path, doesn't work. I've heard people talk about the buoyancy density path. It does not work.
Well, the biggest problem with buoyancy is that there is an equation to work out buoyancy. And what does that equation include?
Gravity.
Yep. Without gravity, you wouldn't have buoyancy.
Well, everything does.
Well, yeah, but I mean, well, density doesn't, because density doesn't have direction. It's a scalar and not a vector. But buoyancy only works because there's a thing called gravity. Because it is a vector, it does have a direction. But density doesn't. Density has no directional part to it whatsoever.
But that wouldn't it be? What was I looking at? It's the fact that you need weight. No, we don't. Which one is it? I'm trying to figure out which one it was. But I do know to get density or to calculate density, it's not just one thing like masses. Mass is weight. We know that. And so
density is a measure of weight and volume.
yes. So
Yeah.
to find that
the denser a material, the more mass there is, the more weight there is in a given volume.
Mm-hmm.
But that it's mass and volume, isn't it? Because density doesn't have a direction. Right. There's no force involved. That's why there's no direction involved. That's why it's not a vector. It's a scalar. A scalar is something that doesn't have any direction to it. And density doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
What complicates matters is when you start comparing relative densities, but you're just comparing one density to another thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well then. Okay, I have a kind of a probably gonna be a tough question, maybe. How far could you get using density yourself? Like right now, if you had to think about it, how far into its density could you get before it doesn't work as density anymore? As as the replacement for gravity.
Not very far.
No, yeah, it can't replace gravity because gravity, as we know it, has a direction.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you,
it's as simple as that. Density does not have any directional element to it whatsoever.
Right. As soon as you compare a battleship to a bowling ball in water, you lose. That's it. Density does not stand on its own.
Okay, so
yeah.
Did you see Blue's latest experiment at the end of his video?
The one that he did with the Jeranism one, or before that?
No, he took a bowl of water and a plastic cup. The plastic cup is less dense than the water and will float. And he took cooking oil and floated it on top of the water. But when he put the cooking oil inside the cup sank in the water. And they're both proven to be less dense than the water.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, he affected the buoyancy of the plastic cup.
Yeah.
Because he added weight to it, and here's an interesting little wrinkle. These free divers, these silly buggers who will go and try and dive as deep as they can in the sea, just on a breath of air.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful because they can get down to the point where gravity will be greater than their natural buoyancy, and they sink. That's how they can get down so deep.
Huh.
When you get to, I guess it varies from person to person, but when you get to a certain depth, the effects of gravity overcomes the buoyancy of your body, and you keep going. And that's why it's such a dangerous sport. So yes, his experiment, all he did was change the buoyancy of the cup by adding weight to it. He added more mass to it, and gravity overcame buoyancy.
Yeah,
I,
but he did it with two things that he independently proved were less dense than the water.
I got
Well,
to
yes,
bounce
as we all know, that oil floats on water.
Yep.
later. I got to bounce.
Okay, thanks, Shawn.
Okay, Sean.
All right. I'll be back on about an hour.
All right. Yeah. If you schedule to go on anytime, let me know. Make sure you let me know when you schedule it. It's kind of
be
open the
3
air for me. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Remind me though,
All right.
because I'll keep. I don't watch the clock at all. Really. That's how those streams ended up going so damn long before.
Your streams are long. We streamed for 5.5 hours last night.
That's
It's
nothing.
scheduled. It's scheduled now, so the link's on my page.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When you come back, just remind me to get in and start sharing the link towards the end.
All right.
Yeah. So right now I'm kind of just going through my files because I wanted to go through a bunch of stuff that we were talking about. Obviously the model part is going to be a little difficult to find because I hadn't pulled it up yet, but first we could find something. But again, I mean, to me it seems disingenuous that again, flat Earth. I don't understand where the whole we don't want to talk, and I mean, I would want to prove flat Earth no matter what. But
they're upset.
Well, that's what I figured it is because like for instance, last night I made it very clear I want answers. Well, once you want answers, that's when flat Earth kind of starts tippy-toeing away. And at this point, I'm not gonna baby anybody to keep people around. I don't need flat earthers to come up here if they're going to be disingenuous anyway. So I'll just rant and talk to myself the whole time if I ever have to do that. That's as far as I'm concerned because it's just going to show me that they have nothing to say. So
we're working out the math for a second experiment that's not quite as weather dependent right now.
Well,
Seems how everybody wants to say that. Seems how everybody wants to say the ISS is a model flown in front of the moon or a Satelloon or whatever they want to call it. I'm working the math out to scale it to one of my race drones so that we can record my race drone flying in front of the moon and see if we can get anywhere near the same calculated speeds out of it.
Yeah, but Crash, couldn't you do that with just a very basic amount of math knowledge?
Yeah.
Rather than physics. I know physically doing it is probably actually quite awesome, but there's a lot more effort involved in that than just getting a sheet of paper and doing like 3 or 4 calculations.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, we got to get it set up and my camera set up and figure some other stuff out. And I got to get the moon to shine here. That's the other issue with it. We've had not clear skies.
I want Ali B to come into the chat and tell me and teach me about light. I heard him on Jose's show yesterday saying that flat earthers know more about light than anybody else, and I'm there thinking, so wait a minute. Every physicist that studied light that also believes in a globe, and you don't find many decent accomplished physicists that are flat earthers. All of those, you're claiming you know more than about light, and it's like, yeah, I'd like some of this knowledge imparted on me. To be honest, I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, again, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. How are we on a flat Earth, yet nothing to show for it?
It's not even that for me at the moment. It's more, how does a flat earther think they A, have some special knowledge, and B, have such specialist knowledge in scientific subjects that they dwarf everybody else who isn't a flat earther, which happens to include the best people in that field ever. It's just, how does one think that way?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's some next level shit right there.
Oh yeah. Especially because you're trying to say that all science is crap anyway. Yet then you now have an extent knowledge of it over 5 years at best. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It's frustrating, and I think that's a lot of what happens when these conversations happen, and why you hear a lot of people getting angry, because at a certain point, man, it does get disingenuous. It's very clear that 90% don't know what they're talking about, but they want to. It's odd, very odd to me.
Yeah, but I don't know if Ali's still in the chat, because he was just talking like 2 seconds ago. But he's normally not disingenuous. He's normally He's normally quite. I think he's normally quite honest.
Right up until about
if not
3
a
weeks
little bit
ago.
condescending. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I haven't heard him really in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, he hasn't. The last time he was on here, he called me a liar, and I snapped on him, and he hasn't been on since. I tried talking to him. I tried, hey, shit happens, blah 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 blah. He not interested in having that conversation. So why would I? Because I know for a fact he came on and basically sat there to derail it for a while. He sat at least 2 streams. I listened to him and Pete derail it nonstop. And it was completely different of what Ali does. So it was very odd to me, and I noticed it. So I was quick to snap when I did. But it's
What did I miss with Mind of God earlier? Because I was trying to listen in, and my physical therapist told me I had to turn my fucking phone off.
You mean yesterday?
Or on your earlier stream?
Earlier.
It was sort of much of the same, really.
Yeah.
He was deriding us. Oh, it's okay. Well, if you want to believe what you believe, but he's got clear proof that every government in this world is run by Satanists.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't know. I kind of switched off through most of it because it's just utter tosh.
Yeah, what had happened was the conversation started off, and I know he started doing the governments and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't so much flat Earth, but as he went through his rhetoric, I started noticing he started doing his what I call bridging, until he had to do it at the very end where he talked about the drone. I'm not gonna lie. I right now what I think is happening.
Yeah, that's what
I think that a lot of flat earthers, especially the smaller channeled ones, Seek and Finds, Mind of Gods, they're thinking that if they have their own platforms, which is kind of true, that they'll be able to get more truth out of something. And I'm going to tell you, anyone right now, you're not going to get more truth out of me or out of a situation than here with me, because I don't care the size. I just want truth about and it being able to understand shit. And again, I want flat earthers to come on to explain what they're saying so I understand it. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But if you're wrong, you have to then understand I'm going to tell you you're wrong as well. If you can't take that constructive criticism, then you can't be for truth. You can't be for, what's really happening.
Right.
No, that's how you learn. You learn by your mistakes, don't you?
Yeah, and then if to me, this whole, we'll just avoid global channels and start our own. You're running from it. You're running from the reality. If you're trying to prove something, or you're trying to come across, get something across, one, you got to have full experience in that topic, because you have to first know how it works to debunk it. Then you got to figure out a way to rework it so that it becomes this observation or something that's happening that works. But guess what? There's one more big step. It has to work with everything else.
Yes.
We were talking
to work in reality.
Yeah, we were talking about how the sun orbits above a flat Earth, and just in what the basic idea of what it could do throws everything off. It doesn't work. The times, the time zones, everything about it does not work. And it's to the point where in my brain I'm going, why, when you hear this and this evidence, are you just throwing it out rather than putting your version to the test against it?
Yeah, well, I was listening because I heard him say something about the drone test again, and then my physical therapist wanted to talk to me, so I put my phone on speaker, and he told me I should go see a psychiatrist.
Yeah, which all of us need to, seeing how we all are here every day talking about how it's not flat. We're just I've always said that we're just as bad as flat Earth that comes on and say that it's flat, because we're here every day doing the same old thing, talking about the same old facts that we've been trying to explain before. Again, the only reason I can say to keep doing it is me. Like, if it wasn't, if all of you guys had stopped, I may still be a flat earther. That's why I do, like, a lot of people that, Tim, soundly, and the list of other names. If it wasn't for those type of guys and the people that in the server that talked to me and when I was a flat earther and really explained shit, even let me ask those questions that didn't make sense so that they could try to understand where I was coming from, I wouldn't have any understanding of where we're at. Everyone can think it's some kind of quote unquote indoctrination, blah blah blah. But the realization is that I can now because I cared and I wanted to understand these things, I can now go outside and make observations where I don't need any other source to explain how to do it and what it means. I now know. And that's what
it's been a great knowledge thing for, if I don't know something now, I'm more apt to research it than I would before.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. I'm gonna be honest. I had no idea about the test you're doing, the density column thing. I had no idea that was even a fucking test at all. But again, there's so many different tests out there. There's so many different things that can be done to solidify where we live and what's going on, that it'd be impossible for you to know all the tests. It'd be impossible for you to know all the information that's out there. I'm only one person. Luckily, you three could give me information that I didn't know and vice versa. And there you go. That's why science is science, because it takes multiple people, multiple ideas to put them together and then figure it out. Flat Earth doesn't want to figure it out. Flat Earth wants it to be flat, and that's the problem. If I'm wrong, I don't even care if you tell me in the chat I'm wrong, but am I? Because that's what it seems like to me. It doesn't seem like truth, because if it was truth...
That's all they want. All they want is the truth. That's all they want, but their truth.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's turned out to be, because it doesn't make... Again, like I said, how is it flat, but you're not ready to present evidence that it is flat yet? How is it flat?
All right.
And it's been explained that you're looking at, all you're doing is listing off phenomena that happen on Earth already. I'm trying to find that list that I had. So, see, I actually had this one prepared, so this list will actually be a little bit better for everyone to listen to me try to stumble through.
How many big words we got this time?
No, I've already read through this one. So, I mean, when we go through this, I'm pretty sure everyone can find the different, these things that are happening that they say is wrong, but it's not. I mean, gravity is a phenomenon. The reason it is because we don't know where the source of it came from. It's not like they don't know what it is. It's just the source. My buddy, what up, Dreads? How you doing, my friend?
What's good? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Kind of just going through the lack of evidence that I felt I wasn't getting, and a lot of people flat Earth aren't presenting either. Typically, what I like to I case it as is telling us what the phenomenons of the globe are. They can't be flat Earth proofs.
Because they ain't got.
Say again?
Sorry.
I say that's because they don't have any. I mean, it's just simple. It's nothing like extraordinary. I mean, it's either you can prove it or you can't. And right now, you got a lot of flat earthers that can't prove anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I stand. I'm still in the middle. I feel like nobody can prove anything. Honestly, that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, and you're correct on that, because one of the biggest misconceptions of science is that they're out to prove something.
Right.
It's literally a who's right contest as far as I'm concerned, and each scientist gets more and more notoriety if they debunk another scientist. It's just the way it works. It's set up to not be teams, basically.
Right.
But
right, and I think that's one of our problems too, because I think that because of the lack of resources that we do have, us regular folks, it's hard to really it's really hard for us to kind of like just put that oomph on anything like that solid evidence, because we don't have what they got. That we have like a watered down version, even all the way down to our telescopes. And we say, like, yo, I got the best Yeah, I mean, you got the best that money could buy, but do you have what NASA got? No.
Yeah, see, this is one of the things that I noticed right away, for myself at least, that there aren't everything's not about the money. Like you have to have money to do this or that. A lot of it is more on the observations and testing. Because there are, I mean, yeah, you're right. There are definitely things that the everyday person can't do. We're not sending a Hubble into space. We're not going to go look at the
Hell
far
no.
galaxies like that. I get that, but just like the sunrise sunset, just that alone, just kind of it doesn't work for flat Earth. It just it and then when I see flat earthers that would depict how the sun works, it's always that camera in front and then you move the light straight back off of it. It doesn't do that. No, I don't. Never in my life observed the sun moving directly away from me like that. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. See, my problem is like, I understand what you're saying. My problem is like, I don't see nothing wrong with people, trying to figure things out or present it as, hypothetical or just brainstorming all around, just trying to figure things out. My personal problem is when it comes to this, is that people are presenting this stuff as facts. You can't do that when you don't have, first of all, you don't even have a set model.
Well, yeah. Well, the
You
thing
know,
I stopped
a
asking
bunch of
for I stopped asking for a model because it's one of the main things is flat Earth definitely has one thing at a time. You can nitpick things that would need arguing or discussion to figure out. But once you get into 1, 2, 3 observations, I've never once heard 2 or 3 observations together that work together. And whereas in the sunrise, sunset, even if it isn't fully explained, it doesn't detach itself from any other system that's going on, any other observations. It's everything meshes, and the things that don't mesh, science is very open about saying it's a phenomenon. And a lot of people hate that I say it, but the reality of it is to me, there is no flat Earth. It's only globe deniers, and that's fine.
Yeah. My see, that's the thing. That's why I think I'm in the middle, because like I got problems with both sides, and it's like one of my main issues with when it comes to the globe is like I don't understand why they give us different type of explanations to something that's supposed to be already as facts. Like they say that the solar system will move a certain way, but then you have when you look it up, they have these different types of way that the sun is moving, or all the planets are moving. And it's just weird because it's like if I present something to you and I say that, look, this is the solar system, this is the way it works. Anything outside of that will be considered as a lie, because that's not, because anybody can say, no, it works like this, but I got the evidence it works like this. So so when I look up, okay, this is how the solar system fly through the galaxy. I know most people have seen the sun is flying, is dragging all the planets, and if that's correct, the way that the way we see the sunset and the sunrise wouldn't work on a globe or flat Earth.
Why?
So now it's making me think that everybody is fucking wrong. I'm like, are flat earthers wrong and globe earthers wrong?
But why wouldn't
Because okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why wouldn't it work?
Because the sun is stationary and the earth is rotating around it, supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sun's
Okay,
moving.
so
The sun is moving too. Everything is moving.
no. The sun is moving
Okay.
straight. So it's stationary, but yet we're talking about it's going a straight line. So in reality, it's not moving. I mean, it's moving, but it's not like orbiting. You get what I'm saying? It's flying straight across.
Just really quickly.
Well, hang on, because I see what you're saying, okay? But
No.
I would have a
So
question. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just really quickly.
No, go
So,
ahead.
one of the things about because I was interested in this, and I'm an animator as well, so I love motion, and and I'm actually building I'm
So am I.
always into my 3D models and stuff, and I'm building a I'm building the solar system with correct correct orbits and inclinations and all that kind of stuff at the moment. But the issue
We
that
should
you've got
collaborate.
is motion is only ever relative. So when you say something's moving to what? Because if you take our galaxy, for instance, and say it's moving, well, you could actually be both correct and incorrect, because you need a frame of reference to say whether you're moving. So I can walk along the floor, but if the floor is moving and I'm moving at the same rate because I'm stood on the floor, am I moving? Well, then you have to go to other frames of reference. Well, according to the sun, yes, I am moving. But the same could be said. Einstein's theory of relativity was meant we could have more complex calculations that we could work upon that says the sun isn't moving and everything's relative to the Earth, so that we can do those complex calculations. So I don't. So I think it's a complex subject, and it's not just as simple as are we moving. Yes, the sun's hurtling round the Sagittarian arm of the Milky Way at an astronomical speed, but so are we at the same rate, if not
No.
slightly going faster and slightly going slower, because it's got us stuck in an orbit. But that inertial motion is still there. We only have offsets because of the gravitational pull of the sun.
Right, but when you go by what they have presented to us, NASA has presented to us, they claim that the sun is traveling at 500,000 miles per hour, and they say that the Earth is traveling 10,000 miles slower than the sun. So if we're traveling 10,000 miles slower than the sun should be leaving us.
I'd like you to show me when NASA said that, because NASA
Brother, you
would
can
owe.
Google Shawn G.
Yeah.
I don't expose this already. Google it, right? Just Google how fast is the sun traveling through the galaxy, and then Google how fast is Earth traveling through the galaxy. They got it right there.
All right. No problem. Hang on. Give me 1 sec.
The Earth is 490,000, and it says the sun is traveling at 500,000. How is it possible that we're traveling 10,000 miles slower?
Because you have to know the reference frame for how they're calculating speed. The Earth could be traveling at 10,000 miles per hour in relation or reference to a frame of reference, which is the sun. So you don't have to multiply both of them together, because in the speed of the Earth compared to the central galaxy, the central point of the galaxy, the supermassive black hole, is completely different. You always need a frame of reference. And if you're on about a solar system, obviously the central star is going to be in reference to, just like the whole spiral arm of that galaxy is going to be in reference to the center point of that galaxy and its distance from it, along with the amount of time it takes to rotate. But we wouldn't calculate the Earth's speed based on the center of the center of that. We do it in a relative sense to the sun. If that makes sense.
So all that, I'm saying that explanation should be in the definition of what he's pulling up now.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not there, but we're gonna look at it in.
So it says, let's get to the person equator. So basically, where it says, trying to find basically exactly what we're looking for, rather than
type how fast is the sun. It got the whole definition. I read it most.
Yeah, but there you go. But that's not all. The Earth circles the sun at 107,000 kilometers per hour. Our solar system is rotating around the Milky Way galaxy at 700,000 kilometers per hour.
The model don't show the Earth circling the sun. The model actually shows the Earth is being dragged behind the sun, my brother.
Well, there. I don't.
No.
Do we? I don't know. If, well, which model? So the. Oh, okay. So okay. My bad. Go ahead. Oh, my bad. So
yeah, I don't. So I mean, it's going in a rotational format. Yes, you can see the Earth is going like in a circle, but it's not next to the sun, going around the sun. It's being pulled supposedly. So
no, it's the only but the idea of relative, and I'm not a physicist and I hate science and I actually hate maths, even though I'm a developer. But the you know, like I said, it's relative motion. You wouldn't calculate the sun's speed and put it against the same frame as reference as the Earth's speed or the moon's speed. Even you would never say the moon is going around the sun at this speed, because the moon, relatively speaking, doesn't give a shit about the sun. Now it might do if you get down to the nitty gritty of it and having, you know, slight gravitational forces on it, and the fact that we're all moving in the same direction in our solar system, you could do, but you'll get an orbit of the moon that is in relation to the Earth. You'll get a speed of the Earth in relation to the sun. You'll get the sun's rotation to the central part of the galaxy, because obviously we're on a spiral arm of the galaxy. So I don't see a problem with this article, because that's what it's saying.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is I started jotting down all the times or the distances that it travels. For this one, it's not giving everything to an exact T. So it's like it's where it says the Earth circles around the sun at 107,000 kilometers per hour, and then it says the Milky Way galaxy is at 700,000 kilometers an hour. It's not that the Earth is going slower than the galaxy. It's just that the Earth is traveling that fast in the galaxy, and that galaxy is traveling that fast in our solar system is traveling that fast in our galaxy. So it's all kind of like a fly. If a car's doing 80 and a fly's in there flying around in there, it's not doing 80, but it's still.
Well, actually,
sorry, Shawn. Well, sorry. Just really quickly, there's another thing to add to this as well. It's an elliptical orbit. So the point there is you can't say it's doing 107 kilometers per hour generally.
No.
You'd have to give a variance, because it actually slows down and speeds up as well. And I don't know what the variance is, but you could figure
Per
this
second. That's per
Yeah,
second, Dean. You said
I
per
understand.
hour.
Hold on, I understand
out.
exactly.
Yeah, per second.
Go ahead,
I understand exactly where you're coming from. I understand it clearly. But see, you're giving me a different answer to my question, because
He'll
basically,
do that. He'll repeat it again for you, man, sometime later.
hold on.
Oh, Pete, be quiet.
Let me just break it down. Now, you gave me an example of a fly being inside of a car. I get that analogy, because I mean, logically, the fly is still traveling the same speed as the car. But I know you're trying to say, well, if the fly is flying around, you want to calculate how fast that fly is flying around inside of that 80-mile-per-hour vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to separate that's two separate speeds. Am I right? You're counting?
but again, it'd be in relation to. So it's
right, but the fly is still moving at 80 miles per hour. You can't change it. It's in the vehicle that's doing that.
But the issue there is that in every kind of conceptualization of that, we wouldn't, we'd want to know how long it's going to take the fly to get from the back seat to the steering wheel. In that frame of reference, we don't give a shit about the speed of the car. We give a shit about the relative speed of the fly in relation to the inside of the car, and that's it. There's no way where you bring a calculation into it that'd say, well, in order to calculate from front to back, we need to know the speed of the car. You just wouldn't.
No.
All right, I get it. But what I'm saying is, the only way that could work for what I'm talking about is that the sun wouldn't be inside the galaxy with the Earth. The sun is in the galaxy. So that basically is like a fly and a grasshopper are both in the car. So that analogy wouldn't work when it comes to the sun and the Earth.
Okay, so let me give you the analogy that goes.
Hang on.
Hey man, you'd be just as well trying to get him to work out the physics of why Wiley Coyote the anvil above his head, right?
Guys, let Dreads finish.
Let me finish.
Yeah, you guys kind of just cut him off. Let him finish.
What I'm saying, the analogy wouldn't work because we're talking about two objects that are both inside the galaxy. We're not talking about one object that's outside the galaxy and another object that's inside. They're both inside of the same galaxy, traveling at two separate speeds.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
So, if the car and the fly are inside a container that's inside an aircraft that's inside a train that's traveling, and that train is traveling on the Earth, then let's think about the fly. The only thing that we would need is reference frame to the car. Let's think about the car. The only thing we'd need is reference. The only thing we'd need is reference to the container, which is then the only thing we need is from the container to the train to the Earth to the sun to the galaxy. It's a hierarchy. It's quite simple. The Earth does not move independent
show us the
with
car
the galaxy.
inside the train. Show us the car inside the train.
Pete, I haven't got time.
Show us all these things. Who's the flat Earth guy here? It's like asking. Because it's all fantasy, right? It's like asking them to explain the physics of how the anvil stays on top of the head of Wile E. Coyote as he hovers in midair after he's just left the cliff.
That's exactly what relative physics is, Pete.
No, that's exactly what you're trying to explain here in your nonsense.
Exactly.
And all your, it's either all of that nonsense that you say, Dean.
I use
It's
fictional
either all of
characters.
that nonsense,
Yeah, you're
or
right.
else we're still, right?
Which
Which
one was the
and
fictional
everything we look at
character?
the sky is revolving around that.
What was the fictional character the Earth, the container, or the car in my example?
All
Which
of
is
them.
fictitious?
All of them, because you had them
They're all
on a spinning ball Earth, right? You had them on a spinning ball Earth, so the fiction.
I don't know. They're on a train at the moment.
We can relate
The
to a
train's
fly.
on
We
the
can
tracks,
relate
the
to
tracks
a
are on the Earth.
house. We can relate to a car. We can relate to a train. We can't relate to a spinning ball Earth. Simple as that. And the guest is right here. You have to take all of the speeds into consideration because there's different forces that need to be catered for in all of this miraculous
So when I'm walking up and
nothingness.
down a train, I need to take into consideration the constant velocity of the train, do I?
Yes. Well, no. See again. We had this argument with Rumpus as well. If you go to the front, from the front to the back of a train, traveling at a steady velocity, you will find it easier than going from the other way around, from the front to the back, or sorry, from the back to the front. You will find that easier.
I bet I can tell Rumpus's reply
right.
to that.
Well, next person on the train. Anyone who's been on the train has done this. Anyone on a train has experienced this. I
used to go to London every day, Pete, on a train.
Well, try it tomorrow then.
I did.
But there's no honesty in you anyway, Dean. So I won't be.
Hang on, guys, stop for a second. Stop. Because first of all, it kind of just went to a shit, and it wasn't a second ago. Let's keep it on topic and not cut people off. Okay, and other than that, we'll be good to go. Go ahead, Dritz.
Okay. So what happens if I put a second train on a second track right next to it, and one train is traveling faster than the other? Because they both are traveling on Earth, which you're claiming Earth is flying through the galaxy. So why would one train still be going faster and leaving the other train behind? Now, when we look at it from a broader aspect, we're talking about the galaxy, which is the galaxy supposed to be traveling. You have two objects that's traveling inside of the same galaxy, just like you got the two trains that's traveling on a traveling ball. So how can you use that as an example if both objects are inside of the galaxy? At two different speeds.
Because the guiding force for our solar system is the sun.
Okay.
Which means that wherever we're in a constant motion and we're orbiting the sun. It's not like we're traveling with the sun, it's we're orbiting the sun. And the sun is on a spiral arm on our galaxy that's rotating around the galaxy.
Wait, you said we're not traveling with the sun, but the sun is actually pulling the Earth? What?
The sun is always pulling at the Earth, but we're in an elliptical orbit around it.
We're still traveling with it, though.
All our solar system is traveling as one, bound to the sun.
Okay, so it'd be
right,
like
that means we're traveling with the sun.
But it's still, so the analogy with the fly in the car, it's how do I explain it? It's in relation to I don't even know how to explain it really. Hang on, I'm trying to figure it out.
Are you open, Shawn? Are you open to change your mind on this? Are you like fixed hard and fast on Dean's explanation of events there, or are you open to change your mind and consider a flat stationary Earth? Look what I'm asking.
No, I'm open to getting the data that I can get from what we're looking through, what Dean's saying, what Dreads is saying, and then I can put it to.
None
I can put it to my understanding of it.
None of that shit makes sense. You didn't even understand it.
Well, see, because hang on, stop, Pete. No, here's the thing, Pete. The thing is that I'm trying to understand it. Are you?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then you, and without anyone interrupting, Pete, you explain to me how the solar system works in our version of it for you to be able to debunk it all of a sudden. Because everyone on this panel is giving you their idea of what it is, and they've all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, how the heliocentric, first of all, is the heliocentric. It's all about the material centered, but you have the material sun, right, as the local center, and you have all of the orbiting bodies and rotating around at a constant rate, located at different positions along that elliptical orbit. Its sun itself then is said to travel in relation to the center of our Milky Way galaxy, and that galaxy then is said to travel in relation to another central point, and all of this going on in tandem with monstrous movements that we don't feel one iota. Just to be clear on my own position, I've left anything to do with a spinning ball Earth behind long since, in terms of how much thought and effort I'll put into it, because all I know at the end of the day is I'm delving into the imagination of somebody else. There's no basis in reality, and it's merely a thought exercise. So how's that answer? I can go into more detail.
By far more confusing than what Dean was trying to explain.
Right. Can you explain Kepler's third law of planetary motion, Shawn?
Nope, I can't.
Explain that.
I can't.
I can go into more detail, and I can dredge up sort of from my memory, what I learned, but I don't care to really.
Well, you don't care to, but what did you come across that shows you that everything you think it is depicted that way? Like, I don't get. That's what I don't get. Like, we're trying to explain.
Okay, well, it always seems flat. It always seems flat and level. To me anyway. It always seems
where
flat
you stand,
level,
yes,
right?
but you understand that
right.
where
no,
you
no,
hang on, but where you understand that what you see. And I brought this
in school, Shawn.
Yeah, I brought this number up many times, and I'll put it in this little side chat so you can see the size you are compared to this.
Yes,
this
Shawn,
is how much you are compared to your observation.
I compare myself to the size of the universe, Shawn. Have you?
What? How? How could you possibly? No one knows the size of the universe.
In my brain, you see, I was told how big the universe is.
No. Who told you how?
Also read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where
how big? No,
is put
Pete,
into the total perspective
stop.
vortex.
Who told you how big the universe was?
Who told? Well, my heroes, the men in white coats, the men of science,
names,
right? The men of
sources,
knowledge,
something. Because I can tell you right now, that if I go and look up how large is the universe, they're not going to give me a number. They're going to say it's forever expanding, and they don't know because they can't see all of space or all of the universe.
Right. The known universe. This is how we describe it. The known universe. They can tell you exactly how old it is.
No, the known universe is what we observe and what we see.
They say they say what's beyond that.
And they're they are very open with the fact that it is a small percentage that they know they see. So then how would they tell you how big the universe is, especially if it's forever expanding?
Well, does the figure 13.7 billion mean anything to you?
No, because it's just a number. You haven't explained where it's from.
Well, they've brought everything back to the Big Bang, right, Shawn?
No, there's actually quite a few different theories.
Everything expanding in all directions, and it's calculated the size of the known universe.
Okay, you're saying known universe again. You said the universe.
Yes.
So do you know the known universe or the universe, the size of it?
Well, in science, Shawn, they understand that there is something outside, so that they call it the known universe, the visible universe.
How much is that, Pete?
Well, 13.7 billion years, right?
No, how much of the universe have they observed?
Right. Well, how long is a piece of string, man? Because what lies beyond? This is where we go into multi-universe theory.
Okay, Pete. So if you're diverting.
This is where we go
seriously diverting right now, man. It's bad.
Shawn.
I asked you how much.
Hang on,
it's a number.
Science,
it's a percentage.
Hang on, Shawn.
What is the percentage of the universe that they see? Since
this is what you held
no,
here,
Pete, because you just got done telling me you knew what the size of the universe was. You haven't provided a source. You haven't even provided how you could possibly know that. Then you go into a rant of the known universe, which is okay, fine. How much of the known universe do they see?
Right. So if you'd listened to me, I just explained it to you.
No, you didn't.
Right.
Now,
first of all, okay, so listen this time, and then you might hear my answer, which will be the same as the last time. So according to your science, not mine, right? Because it was my science. I left it behind. You left it behind as well, but you came back to it. Everything can be brought back to a singularity, Big Bang singularity, 13.7 billion years ago. You can calculate via the speed of light the furthest distant objects.
Wait. Are you telling me that the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave, the glow that they see, they say is the beginning of the universe? So they don't think anything's beyond that. Is that what you're telling me, Pete?
Right. See, everything. Hang on. Think about it. So we're thinking about it in reverse. I'm bringing you back to the singularity, which brought everything into being. Right now, if we put ourselves at the very extent of that. This is what they're talking about in terms of the known or the visible universe, at the very extent of that. But what it's expanding into, they don't know, right? Now, this is where, again, all these different theories, 12 dimensions, we have multi-universe theory, we have string theory, we have all of these different theories, which will go into what's beyond that. But these are the mystical realms that you are feet first in, Shawn, not me anymore, man. So is that an answer for you?
No. No.
So what's your problem that I didn't answer?
What is the percentage of known universe?
I think it's all bollocks.
Okay, but
I think it's all absolute bollocks.
But there's nothing behind. You have nothing to back that, Pete. That's what my problem is.
Well, what was your problem with my answer then?
Because you didn't give an answer.
The furthest distant object is 13.7 light years away.
When?
Because
when was that number? When was that number? When was that number?
13.7 billion light years.
When was that? When was that presented?
Which they've dated back the Big Bang to a singularity. They can see 10 to the minus 37 of a second.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that the 13 billion miles that you're saying, light years or whatever you said, is to the Big Bang, correct?
Right.
Okay. You're telling me that
it's from the distant, from the furthest reaches, right, of the known universe or the visible universe or whatever you want to call it, the extents to the point of singularity.
Okay. So if I say
13.7 billion light years.
Okay, so you're telling me in every direction that's the furthest they can see.
I'm telling you, it's all bollocks, man.
Why? Okay. Again, I will ask. I'm going to ask for the last time I'll ask. What part is bollocks?
What they say, yeah. That's what they say.
What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to debunk it somehow. So why did you debunk? Why do you think it's not real?
Okay, but before we answer that,
No. You're saying it's bollocks.
Don't hush me up, Shawn.
No.
What's your problem with my answer I just gave you?
Because your answer. When I ask you where you're looking, why you're looking at that, and then where you get the source from, and how you've decided all of a sudden you've debunked it.
You're asking me that, right?
Yes.
So this is the conversation between me and you.
Obviously, no one else is talking, Pete. It's just me and you.
Right, but okay. What is this, a battle of wits or something? Why
no, it's a battle of. I want answers. If you come in here,
I know I've been lied to on every level, so now I will just take.
So then, what is real? What's real to you, Pete? Then, how does what you think is real, real against what science says?
Science says. What does science say?
Really, Pete? You seriously just sat here acting like you know everything. You know more than enough.
Men who say they're of science say certain things, and individual men say individual things. No consensus in all of this.
Pete, do you realize that I asked two questions? I asked you where your source was and how much of the known universe you see.
Sources. I think for myself, man.
Okay, well, so then you do all your science for yourself, then, right?
So I'm relating the story that's your story.
Nope, that's not my story.
Well, it's science's story, as you put it.
No, science doesn't tell stories.
So you don't adhere to the Big Bang theory of life, the universe, and everything.
Oh, I have a good understanding of it. I have a good understanding of it, but do you also understand that there are multiple theories on that science is saying they're looking into?
So which one do you use? The
Big Bang
has many different opinions then.
Because
you're saying, or is there a truth attached to
I'll tell you right now. Because of the 5% of the known universe that they can see, their best depiction of what happened, it happens to be a giant glow, and they look in one direction. How did that glow come about? Most likely, it had to have been an explosion of massive numbers, just bigger than you can think of. But that's where it started. Now,
giant glow in one direction. What do you mean?
The microwave, you know where the Big Bang was? You can't see past that, right, Pete? The reason they believe that the Big Bang happened there and that all the planets came from that explosion is because that's the farthest they can see and where it came from. They went in the opposite direction of the universe expanding, and that's where the glow is. You know that.
You took your own, man.
Okay, that's not what they.
Direction is the universe expanding in. The universe is expanding in every direction, man.
Correct, Pete. When they look in one direction, yeah, absolutely.
So I want to ask you, based on the big explosion, before the big explosion supposedly happened, what material that was out in space before that? Because the planets are indeed made up of material. Some type of material, got dust, trees, and all that life, period.
Well,
so what existed?
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what was out there before this big explosion? Because I'm trying to figure out, you're saying that a big explosion happened and dust rock was formed?
No, they said that no space was even there.
No, wait. Who says that? Pete, no one says that. Stop.
Yes, they do, Shawn. Yes, they do, bud.
Yeah, let me just say this. What I'm saying is, it looked like to me that somebody is trying to play God. They don't know the origins of man, so they came up with this fallacy. And this is something that we have to at least agree on, because I don't think that nobody know where we come from. And I don't think that we'll ever find out.
See,
so I think
we know where men came from.
Well, see, here's the thing, because you started way before that. The thing is that science, in the beginning of everything, they don't say they can explain that. And the Big Bang doesn't have anything to do with the known universe beginning. Like, there's nothing there. It's not explained that way at all. That's why, Pete, when you said that, it makes zero sense. There's not a scientist on Earth that says the Big Bang was the beginning of everything.
Yes, they fucking do.
No, they don't. Because if it was that were the case, okay, so then what? So then how could the Big Bang have happened if there was absolutely nothing?
Shawn, you're very mal-informed here. And I mean, you corrected me incorrectly, because they do claim that space itself came into being with the singularity that was the Big Bang. So this is the general consensus among.
Wait a minute. You realize that? Do you understand what you just said means? Because
yes, I do, man.
The universe and the galaxies that we have, that we can observe, we know that those galaxies, our galaxy, comes from that Big Bang. It does not mean the Big Bang started at all.
Well,
right. Go on, ask Dino boy. Oh, Dino, can you jump in here? Isn't this? Am I right, or is Shawn right here?
I'm not an astrophysicist. I don't.
Basic. So tell us your basic knowledge about science then, and what it has to say about the.
Wait, Pete. You do realize that you've completely just disregarded any having to answer for what I said.
No, let me answer you then. I was trying to save you a little bit of embarrassment.
It's not embarrassment, because hang on. It's not embarrassment, because no matter what I'm wrong about right now, I'll concede to it, and then guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go look into it. I'm not sitting here telling you that everything you know is wrong because I think so. That's the difference. I could be 100% wrong on everything I'm saying, but at least I'm giving it a shot, and at least I know that I'm going to go look it up, and I'm going to try to figure it out, and I'm going to take as many notes and jot down as many things as I need to.
That's fine, Shawn, but here we are. First of all, you accepted science, then you rejected it, and now you're accepting it again.
See, again, Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. Because as a flat earther, I didn't reject science at all.
Did you not?
No.
Science is telling you that you live in
Didn't I just get done telling you that, like, as a flat earther, I was trying to figure shit out? How do you try to figure shit out if you're not even think science is real? Well, I told you, you should know it, Pete. You were around when I became a flat earther. I was not a typical flat earther.
What would you describe as a typical flat earther?
A dome, no gravity, no space, no satellites, a creator. That is the typical flat earther right there in a nutshell. And now it does differ throughout a lot of them, big time.
Sure.
But if you're going to talk about the stereotypical flat earther, I just told you what it was.
So you stereotype flat earthers. Where would I fit?
Really? Did I say I stereotype them? Or did I just say that most of them have different views?
I'm talking to you.
But the typical one is that.
All right, then
I hear you, Manny. Hang on, Manny.
Normal. There's a standard out there, but that's fair enough as well, yeah, because that's all you're left with at the end of the day. When you have a flat and a stationary Earth, then you have a separation, right? So you have to have some sort of a boundary. And what's the other things you said? No satellites. Yeah, I knew that before I was a flat earther because all of that research was done. And I don't know what else you said, but sure. These are all components or possible components of our new home, right? As the individual may.
You're not answering anything, Pete. You're just kind of
The
rambling.
mindless nonsense. I'm not answering anything.
No, seriously, you're not giving us any answers. You're ranting right now.
The mindless nonsense talk about ranting. I'm just speaking. When Barney was on here, Shawn, you gave him a half an hour to answer every question, and that wasn't ranting at all, right?
Because what Barney doesn't do is what you're doing right now. He doesn't divert questions, and he doesn't endlessly talk, so people can't call him out on that.
Accuse me of that, man. I only spoke there for about 15 fucking seconds.
Because I've been waiting for answers, Pete. You cut me off. Me and Dreads were having a conversation. You cut him off to cut me off to go on a rant about how you know it's all fake because of.
No, you asked me, didn't you?
No, I asked you once you cut in, Pete, and I wanted to make sure you knew what you're talking about. And your whole explanation was, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, but if two people are having a conversation about something and you jump in like you know all, you don't expect me to want to know how you know that?
So let's just...
Because again, Pete, I'm not sitting here saying how wrong you are. I'm asking you for your sources. How do you know what you're saying?
So Jumped In and Dean was explaining the universe to Big Dread. Shout out to Big Dread and his new jacuzzi.
Yeah, that's the other fucking thing. Hey, Pete, I am done with you, man. Stop with that bullshit. You're going to sit here and spread lies, then I'm going to fucking call you on it, and I'm just going to not have you here. I've explained to you that shit 10 times, and just like speaking to fucking gravity to seek and find, you act like you didn't fucking hear it the first time, and it's pissing me off now.
It pissed me off, but none of the lies piss you off, right, Shawn?
Oh, of course not, Pete. Get the fuck off my panel, man. I am done with you. Enough with your fucking rhetoric like that shit, man. I don't fucking deny shit for no reasons. I don't fucking just blatantly think shit is going on. I literally look into that shit. I'm getting sick of you questioning me. You have no evidence. All you have is the dodo says so. Fuck.
Shawn, I've got to say, Shawn, I would have loved to chat to you when you were a flat earther.
I'm telling you right now, it wasn't easy.
That'd have been a fucking experience and a half.
It was very confusing for flat earthers, and it was confusing for Globers because Globers didn't know what route to go with me, and flat earthers didn't understand why I felt the way I did.
Nice.
I told you, Dred, you're there. I've debated more flat Earth than I did globe, based on my views. And then even then, it wasn't even a debate, really. It was the discussion. I didn't come into this doing debates. First of all, none of us debate. Not one person here. I haven't seen one debate on this whole subject. We all have discussions that turn into arguments. We try to structure them, but it doesn't ever work because they always go onto a very unneutral, very biased platforms. I personally, did this, so it'd be a non-biased place. But at the same time, you got to be willing to answer questions. You got to be willing to be honest as well if you're going to be up here. That's all there is fucking to it. And Pete doesn't do that. Pete's a genius. He has a view that's like no others. He thinks flat earthers are crazy. He thinks globers are crazy, but doesn't have to explain anything. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, his views are rather singular.
I really, I mainly ask questions, and like I said, me and Shawn, we've been cool. We always been cool. You feel me? Regardless of, what we think is different or not. I think that I don't understand why people can't have a dialogue and have their differences and still be all right. I mean, like I said, me and Shawn, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but we don't allow that to keep us from being associated or friends.
Yeah.
And I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I don't know anybody that has friends that everything they have to agree on. That's BS.
I agree with everything my girlfriend has ever said.
She's standing right next to you, isn't she?
she's in fucking earshot.
She's listening in on the other line. No, but it's very forthcoming when someone does that, because to me, The fact that everyone gets so personal and disrespectful, it's literally both whoever's doing it. You're very insecure with your what you think you know, and then you're very insecure for people not to know you know that. And to me, that's a big red flag, and that's for both sides. I don't care who or what. Everyone on this panel, Dreads, me, everyone's done this where you think you know, but you're wrong. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is once you realize you're wrong, do you look into it, or do you just say "F this"? I'm right. That's the difference. And people that just go, "It's flat because I want it to be flat," that's not honest. It's not truth. Your opinion, your belief, or whatever you want to call it, no matter what, unless you know everything on Earth, you have to change your narrative. Why? Because you don't know everything, and you're saying a lot. So at some point, you're going to be wrong, unless you don't think you're ever wrong, and it's bullshit. So when I walk around going, "Hey, flat Earth, I need answers. I was flat Earth for 2.5 years. I need answers. I've asked questions, and I'm still not getting them." You would think that Nathan's, Bro Sanchez's, and yada yada, all these people would have cold, concrete answers, concrete understandings, and then bam. But that's not what I got. I got shitted on because I was asking questions. Now, like, hey, Dreads, like, I know you guys are cool, so I know you have nothing to do with this, but I have a serious problem with Bro Sanchez. Because regardless of me talking to him, he thinks it's okay to treat me like I didn't exist on his panels ever. So what does he expect's going to happen when he gets on my panel and I tell exactly how I feel? He has a tantrum on my panel because he didn't get 45 minutes to talk without me saying something. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I can handpick right now content creators whose narratives have never changed, not once. How is that possible? It's not.
I mean, I do I do my own thing. I'm in my own lane now. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not here to just be like a yes man to anybody. I'm gonna ask questions on both sides. And that's just the way it is. I question everything. You feel me? And if there's certain things I don't understand, that don't mean that I'm not listening. It's just simple. I still don't understand it. I mean, that's life. You're gonna have people that just don't understand certain things, and I had to learn that myself because I be trying to tell people certain things and they don't get it right away, and it used to frustrate me. But then I have to fall back and realize that everybody's not the same. You're gonna have some people that catch things quick. You're gonna have some people that take a little more time for them to catch on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is a learning curve on both spectrums. You know what I'm saying? But besides all, I got some good news for you though.
What's that?
I've been dying to tell you. A lot of people been saying I've been running off with people money and I'm a fraud. I'm scam. You remember all that? You remember all that good shit?
Oh yeah.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to type in www.truutube.com and tell me what you see.
You say it one more time. www.tr.
No, TR.
Okay.
UUTUBE.com.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, nice. Is this the new site?
I got my own YouTube website, bro.
That's what's up. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
I am the CEO and founder of my own YouTube, so I don't gotta. So anybody who feel like they're being suppressed or can't get the information out there, you don't have to worry about that. Me and my wife just set up the monetization, so you can monetize your videos as well. You do not need to have 1,000 subscribers. You can monetize ASAP. Not only that, we got all the features. We got all the features of YouTube and then some.
That's what's up right there.
Website is up and running. I appreciate that. And we got people that's already signing up. I might have to upgrade the hosting. We got dedicated servers and everything. Right now, as far as security wise go, we're in the talks. I ain't gonna say the name, but we're in the talk with a company. If anybody get caught threatening people and stuff like that, they're not gonna just ban their account. They're gonna ban their IP address, so they cannot create other accounts and try to come back on. Like we're not gonna tolerate the threats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good, my brother.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, if you have a YouTube channel, like say right now, say you upload, let's say you see how you got your YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Let's say you create a channel. If you create a channel right now on the website, you can literally embed all your YouTube videos on your channel.
Oh, nice.
You don't have to download them, re-upload them. You can just embed them.
And then monetization works through that too, as well.
The monetization is basically it's like the same.
Okay.
It's the only difference is I'm not taking 60-40 like YouTube.
Yeah.
It's 90-10, and the 10% that I get is just to keep the website running. So I really ain't making nothing from it.
Yeah. That's more of a fucking
So
actual
people are
reasonable
getting
number.
90%. Right. People are getting 90%, and YouTube is not taking 45%. Actually, that's what they take. So yeah, I'm the bad guy though.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ha, I guess, to all those haters.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What's amazing to me is we've had this conversation before. The people that are doing all the yapping are people that didn't even add to it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They had nothing to do with putting their money towards it. And the people that did aren't even griping. And again, the ones that were, Pete Shea, he gave money back on live streams because of people like yourself. You squawking and him having to go, hey, guess what? I did. So, I mean, you can continuously talk shit, but realistically, Pete, you're asking for it now. You don't know what you're talking about, so you're going to be called out on it here, especially here. I don't appreciate it.
So yeah, brother, we actually got a place where we can speak our mind, and at the same time, I feel like I'm doing a service, because YouTube is doing a disservice. So all the like when you trending, because I did my research before I really went out and spent all this money on this damn thing. What I found is YouTube actually pick and choose who are trending. Like CNN will be trending, and PewDiePie have like 8 million views on a video, and he still won't trend. So they pick and choose. YouTube pick and choose who trends, and our website is not going to do that. Our shit is going to be it's by default. The people that's going to be trending is the people that's supposed to be trending.
Yeah.
The notifications. We got notification bells, subscriber, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. You can live stream as well. On the brother, the company that we went with, they finished putting together the live stream. So the live streaming is actually live now today. So you can go live on your channel. You can actually do pay-per-views if you want to. Like, say you want to put a documentary together, something like that. Mm-hmm. You can actually create your pay-per-view the same way that we spend our money buying these fights and pay-per-view fights and all. It's basically like that. Nice. Anything that's donated to the actual, because people can actually donate to you. Me, nor my wife, we get nothing. There's no cut. We take nothing from any donation that's come to anybody, any content creator. You get all of your money, 100%, all of that. Now, we don't take 1 penny, 2 pennies, nothing. You understand? So that's another thing that we wanted to put on there. It's a lot, man. My wife said she's gonna put up a tutorial, and she'll let everybody know exactly all the features. She's gonna show YouTube features on one side, and she can show all our features on the other side, and she'll break it down so everybody know what's good with it. But we got a lot of people signing up to it too, man.
Oh, I can tell you right now, the second I get off of here, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so like I said, you could put it. You don't even have to. You don't have to leave YouTube, which is a good thing. And one thing that I'm glad that we did that'll make it convenient. One is very similar to YouTube. You can clearly see that, so it won't be something that's brand new. You know, you can just jump right on. You already know where everything at, because everything is pretty much located in the same spot. If you most people that's already on YouTube most likely has a Google account. You know, if you're in the chat, you got a Google account, because if you didn't, you won't be able to chat. We made it where you can just sign up with your Google account. So if you already got one, You don't have to sign. You don't have to waste your time signing your name and all that. Just press sign in with my Google account. You already got your account created, right? Just like that.
Yeah, I was gonna do it right now, but I'm not on my regular Google part, so we didn't work. But I'm gonna second we get off, I'm gonna do this because you've been talking about that for a minute. And I told you, man, I'm there. Especially right now, I got 2 copyright strikes from sock accounts. And YouTube,
oh wow,
yeah, YouTube knows it's an issue. It's been an issue since 2013, hasn't been fixed. Just like the Hangouts, that people were getting porn bombed. They knew that, still didn't fix it. It's ridiculous. It's insulting.
Yeah, so that's the reason why we went with we did. It cost a little more, but we went with it because the porn bombing. I'm actually looking forward to those because their whole IP address will be banned.
Yeah, that's accountability for these things is the main thing because realistically, YouTube basically has outlined it to hey, yeah, trolls get to do whatever the fuck they want. Your problem, not ours. At the same time, while they make money off our stuff, it's insane.
Yeah, of course. That's another thing too, because they control everything, and they get us content creators that's on the platform. We're helping them stay in business.
Oh yeah, big time.
Even with the super chats and everything. Even when a person sponsor your channel, they get a cut out of that. So it's like we've been talking about it for a lot, and I say a lot of YouTubers been complaining about a lot of strikes and stuff like that. So I feel like it's going to do 2 things. One, is going to help a lot of people, and 2, it's going to expose a lot of people who've been complaining. Let's see if they are in it for the money, the views, fame, or whatever, or they really mean if there was another platform, they'll leave. Let's see if they leave. Because I think it's going to expose the frauds.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hello, Shawn.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Shawn.
Hey, how you doing, Skyby? How you doing? Yeah, you can hear everyone, right?
Yeah, I can hear everyone, yeah.
All right, cool.
I came on to tell you that I changed the title of your video.
How the hell did you do that?
I can't tell you how I can do it because it's secret.
Oh.
But I wanted to let you know it was me. But when I changed it, the views went up by 10.
Yeah, but that's not what I wanted to change it to. And
you can change it back if you like. But I thought it was quite appropriate.
I'm not too happy about that.
Wait, he changed your title or your video?
Yeah, he literally changed my title.
Yeah, I can do that. Anyone can do it.
How?
I'm not going to say how.
Why? Or okay, will you let me know in private so I know how to stop it?
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's something to do with the robot.
Okay.
But it was quite funny. I changed it. Then your views went up by like 10.
Yeah, but I'm not.
46.
I don't care about my views.
No, it's important because it's good more people see this stuff.
They'll come across it. Oh, trust me, I get quite a bit more views than I should with this channel because of the fact that everyone's comes over from my channel.
Yeah, I just see.
I didn't want to tell you that I done it, just in case you were freaked out.
I do. Oh, I didn't even notice, but I appreciate you telling me. Please don't do it again. But I'd like to know if there's a way for me to stop that. I need to know so I can make sure that doesn't happen.
There is a way. I'll tell you how later.
Okay, I do appreciate that. Thank you for bringing it to the light and not just going ape shit with it or doing anything drastic. Thank you. But yeah, damn.
I was very polite. I could have been very rude.
Well, you're not a dick or nothing, so I'm not. I'm happy it was you. If it had to be somebody. Damn.
Man, what that title would have said if that was a troll, man.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
I need to know how he did that because that's scary. I don't want to be going live and somebody change my title to something weird, man.
Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to get back to where I was. Yeah, for real. But no, it doesn't matter either way because I was gonna be done anyway. Only because Shawn Hawkins was gonna go live and I went over what he was gonna do by almost 45 minutes. So I want to respect that to him. Again, I did that stream this morning and damn, that kicked my ass. But fucking more importantly, man, congratulations, Dreads. I mean, it's a big. I appreciate that, insane big step, and I would hope that everybody at least go over there, check the platform out, and look around, sign up, and just see if you like it. You know what I mean? You don't have to. to just be there and leave here, go check it out, get used to it, and see if it's something you want. Especially because it gives you an opportunity to be to put your content out and not be the little guy anymore. You know what I mean?
Right, and the good thing about it, you don't have to leave YouTube completely. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be doing kind of like a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I mean, like I told all my followers and stuff like that, for at least for the next month or so, I'm gonna slowly just transition everybody over. Once I get everybody over, then I'll probably be done with YouTube altogether. But for right now, I'm gonna just be going back, going back and forth. And like I said, I can embed my videos. So when I go live, it's embedded. I don't have to download and re-upload. It'll automatically just go to my channel.
Yeah, it's
so
a quick fix. Yeah.
So I think that'll make it easy. Like I say, we just wanted to make it a easy transition over. And I think that we did a good job doing that. Even if you got Facebook, you can sign in with your Facebook account. If you got Instagram, you can sign in with your Instagram account. She's supposed to be doing the Twitter one, and then I think we'll have everything covered. So
cool.
It's easy, man. Everything is easy.
That's what's up. And again, and to everyone who wanted to badmouth everything that's going, that's insane to me, because it happened the same shit with that Unity. It's like, motherfuckers don't know where shit started. I was there, and everything, all that. Like, you literally said, "Hey, why aren't the big channels doing this, and that?" They got shit. They all shitted on you for that. But then now, all the big channels are all fucking up. They're all just. Yeah. I mean, in the long run, it's better that you didn't have to end up being tied up with these people that now are really fucking up. It can only last so long.
Maybe that's because they're getting money and buying ring laser gyros. Doing experiments.
Well, that's the thing.
The ball up.
Well, the thing is he can tell you how much that ring laser gyro was and everything, but how much?
20,000 apparently.
But they're not telling you how much they make. You know what I mean? And it's not, they have to. But I mean, again, if your narrative is not changing at all, this is a red flag, big time.
I just feel sad for the people that send them super chats to like Nathan Oakley and that. They must be really stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's stupid. See, that's the thing. If you don't understand something, it's very easy to get tied up, to get wrapped up in thinking that information could be correct. If you're only looking for the phenomena that happened and want to phrase it as debunking the globe, people who don't understand, they're going to take it as debunking the globe. That's the issue. It's just...
Okay, let's look at it from a different point of view, okay? Imagine the people that are donating are thinking, okay, they're seeing their name lit up in a super chat and maybe 250 people are seeing it. So is that so exciting they've got to pay $10 or $5 or whatever? Just make your own YouTube channel. You can have your name there all the time. Yeah, it's for free.
Well, the thing is about that, that's I started to put the name or the chat in the on my screen, mainly because Dred, you had it like that, and to me, what it seemed like was what people wanted to say, and some people do want to make sure people see what they say. It gives the chat an opportunity to be in the live stream, and it's
okay. I've got a question for the people in chat. Obviously, I can't see the chat because I'm on the on page. Now, how many people see people doing super chats apart from them really large amounts that go and look at their channel and maybe subscribe to them?
But they do that too. Well, I think that's what super chats may have been set up for. So if I had possibly one, I would want to click on it and be like, hey, check out my channel. It gives. I mean, it's a big eyesore right there.
But up to your account, the best way is click on every person you see on a live channel and subscribe to them. 20% will subscribe back, and then next week delete them all.
Yeah, but see that's like sub scamming. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because the way I see it is
not being genuine.
yeah, it's like, again, like I'm not here.
Look at Nathan Oakley; he's got like 12,000 subscribers.
But see, the thing is whether
he only gets like 250 viewers.
But that's the thing, though. I have look. I went from a channel that I only have 1,200 views or subs. Yeah, I have 1,200 subs there. I think I have 160 here, and I'm getting 300 times my sub count. What do I got to complain for? I have no complaints. I'm enjoying myself. And that's
they're only big because they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
the people don't even look at it. You know, I subscribed to people 12 years ago on YouTube, and I've not even looked at their channels since then.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But at the same time, I pretty much, I don't want that. I want people that want to know the information I'm putting out, or know that they want to come on my panel and put theirs out. I'm not. If I don't want 12,000, man. I have 1,200, and I feel such a sense of responsibility to you guys. It's insane. I have a lot of stress when I'm doing these live streams and trying to get everything going and try to make sure that I'm not just giving pure bullshit. And the amount of research I do, it's like there's a lot that goes into it. The only thing I care about is that people are interested.
Yeah.
If I gained it, but
I would say, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like the more subscribers you gain, the more pressure is placed on the content creator, because every little thing you do is like, it's like they got a magnifying glass on your motherfucking ass. You know, just being real, because the channel I just created, I'm almost at 20,000 subs already. So you know the pressure I go through. So that's why, like I said, but I just follow the guidelines of the name of my channel. I just ask a lot of questions. I question everything. And that's
subs have you?
Huh?
20,000.
Almost.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Oh, let's put you in the in the chat so we can get some more.
Yeah, I'm almost at 20,000, man.
And see,
what do you do videos on?
Well, see, the other thing is that I wouldn't want just anybody coming to my channel. Like, for real, like pretty much people that come around thinking that the fight the flat Earth method of talking to flat earthers is how it's supposed to be. I don't want them here. It's to me, it's counterproductive to what I'm doing.
I think that I might be the only one of the few guys that let globe earthers come on my panel, and they get just as much as respect as a flat earther, you know. And I feel like you have to give respect to get it, you know, unless he been an asshole, of course. I think that's the as a people, and if we truly want to find the truth, we have to take everybody in and everything they put out as at least in consideration, because somebody could be right.
Yeah,
you know,
well, somebody is, that's for sure. But it's the truth is right, not us.
Right. So it's like I just allow everybody to come on. You know what I'm saying? I just always been that way, that type of person. And it is what it is. I see because a lot of flat earth channels, they bash globe earthers. A lot of globe earth channels, they bash flat earthers, and that's not productive in my opinion.
Yeah, you get nowhere at all. And that was the biggest thing. Why, like, when people ask, why are you still around? Blah blah blah. It was because of you, Dreads. I mean, you literally put it out there where it was like everyone's got a free opportunity to talk here. Everyone's gonna get an equal, get respect that they put out. And the second that shit changed, it was like, I tell people this all the time. When I came around, Flat Earth was innocent. Like, it wasn't like they had shit to be upset. Like, they weren't doing shit to nobody. And then for some odd reason, they decided to flip the switch and be just as much assholes as the globe.
Yeah.
And I don't see why. That's when I started realizing there are people here for money and fame or whatever, because you just go about your own business, and you don't need to take that route if you're confident in what you're saying. And if you're confident that you can be wrong, then even better, because at that point you get to learn more.
I agree. I mean, and it got so bad. You witnessed it right there with me. It got so bad they started turning on each other, and it was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was horrible, man. And I was like, you know what? I gotta find a way out this shit.
Yeah, well,
I don't want
Well, see, the one thing was like, or actually, this happened I think a few weeks ago, and this is probably the only time I've ever really thought Bro Sanchez what he was doing was a good idea. He literally, when IPS was over there, and IPS says, "You're with us, right?" Blah blah, and Bro Sanchez says, "I'm by myself. I ride for me." At this point, that's what you got to do. Who do you trust?
Right.
I mean, 2.5, 3 years of trying. I mean, at least you tried. That's all you can say. The people that I tried. Yeah, and I tried to express the fact that
We both tried.
Yeah, and I mean, shit. I try to tell people, this is going to be this is going to be probably the best platform you're going to get, Flat Earth, on the basis of that. I don't do the disrespect thing. I don't think calling people stupid is going to get you anywhere. But at the same time, don't decide that I'm some kind of shill or an asshole because I'm asking questions. Everyone should be asking questions. Everyone should want answers. I don't mind. Like, Seek and Find's in my chat, and he keeps talking about how did you really explain? Like, Seek and Find, if I explain to you something over and over again, and then you have to ask me the same questions over and over, then that is what intellectual dishonesty actually is. My version of something or how I believe it to be is not intellectual dishonesty. That's the difference between it. I didn't do an upload.
That sounds like Anthony Riley.
Yeah, well, exactly. I didn't do, because I was going to do a what I call a review upload, where I basically watched his upload and explained why he's wrong. But then I realized I don't need to. Like, he plays a clip of, because recently I realized when I'm breaking things down, gravity, for instance, is it a force? For me, yes. My understanding of how gravity works does not exceed past Newton's theory. The best part is it's still used. Riley thinks it was thrown out all completely. I've shown him on numerous occasions, and it's starting to irritate me because now he's starting to lie in his own chat, saying I never told him anything or sent him anything. Riley, I will show our DMs from the server, from the Discord server, where it's days and days and days of you asking me questions, me answering them, and then you diverting to something else. It's ridiculous how he works that thing now. Sure, I think Dreads had to take off, but I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I know I'm just ranting and ranting.
Yes, it's me and you now, so I'll say good night. Thank you, Shawn.
Yeah,
great show, mate.
Will you hang out for a minute? Because I'm gonna end it right now, and then because I want to make sure I know how not to happen again, because especially because we talked about it, the trolls will probably end up starting to try.
Okay, yeah, I'll hang on for a second.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get a beer and come back in 5 minutes.
Or yeah, okay, no problem, perfect. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that.
Tell me when we're offline.
All right, no problem. All right, yeah. So, like I was saying, it's to me, it's when I see what's happening right now, where basically, all the flat earthers decide they don't want to come on the panel. It's either one of two things. One, I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, or you got some false narrative of what I'm here for. And the reality of it is, I don't care. I really don't. Here or not, I'm gonna speak. Here or not, I'm gonna look into things. I'm gonna research things, and continue to figure out where we live and what we're doing here, or what we figured out. It doesn't make sense to me that anybody here knows all. I mean, I don't think there's one glober here that can say they know all. So that's not part of the discussion. You have to have, no, not yet. You have to have some type of evidence for your belief. I get it. I know you want it to be flat, and this doesn't make sense. But again, to debunk something, guys, you have to have a full understanding of it. Then you have to go about figuring out a different method of what's being observed, and then figure that out. It doesn't go the opposite way. You can't say, nuh-uh, it doesn't exist, and then go from there. It doesn't work that way. Because
at a different speed, and the moon is not getting shadows from the Earth, casting shadows on it. That's just nonsense. People still think that the moon phases are a reflection of the shadow of the Earth being cast onto the moon. That is just ridiculous. The moon phases are a fact of its position in the sky in relative position to the sun.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually, you said that to him, so I didn't have to repeat it. So thank you. But I'm gonna mute it off for now because I'm really about to.
There was one guy.
Give me 1 second. All right, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take off. Like he was saying, there are things that we observe. You guys observe too that don't work. It just does not work on a flat Earth. Again, the platform's yours. If you guys want an hour, go ahead. Explain it all, please. Pete Shea, you know exactly what the fuck you were doing. Don't disrespect and act like I'm just some kind of asshole. You knew what you were doing, and you knew it gets frustrating. And I'm sorry, I'm here for answers now. If it comes to flat Earth, you should have something, observations at least. Ranty, Nathan, Riley, most especially. I mean, you guys are the ones who are promoting this crap. Why aren't you making fucking live stream royal tours proving flat Earth right now? Riley, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if anyone talks to him. I don't care. Riley, there's nothing that you're coming with that defutes the globe. Matter of fact, you already told me on my stream, personally, you're not a flat earther. That's the reality of it. That's what you need to be acting like. Not debunking. Let's see some, you're figuring things out now. How about that? Because you're all you're doing is doing the lip salad and switching things around and making things an argument unnecessarily. You want to question the scientific method, but you don't even use it correctly. You want to talk about variables, but you don't understand variables. You want to say density is the answer for everything, but you're not willing to understand that it's not the answer. It's not. And now, what you're doing, as in, well, it could be this, that's not wrong. But you're not questioning and bringing something to the table. You're just denying, and saying we're all wrong in the globe. This is what it is. And you don't have it, man. I'm sorry. I haven't met anybody that has it. Not even on the globe side that just knows it all. Me especially. I will be wrong on a lot of this shit I say when it comes to it because I'm still trying to understand it myself. But where are you guys getting that I act like I know all? Where the fuck do you think that Rumpus knows all and he's like the guy we all go to? Or Soundly for that matter. Any one person that you like to pick off for one argument, you act like those people, what they said is the end all be all. I made it very clear. I don't know very much. I'm learning. But I guarantee you'll say, well, you said this and you said that, like it's concrete. If you're able to do that, then let's see some of the flat earth ones. I'm challenging anybody. I don't care. I don't care if you have a big ass channel with 100,000 or you have 1 sub. If you're a flat earther, come do a one-on-one discussion with me. You should be able to sufficiently show me exactly how things work, right? So with that said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate everything you guys did when it comes to this morning and to this stream. I mean, right now, like I'm looking at the numbers, and it literally was just helping everything that I do. It just shows me that I'm here for a reason. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Tomorrow is going to be a brand new day, and hopefully, I know Jose will be on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a little bit earlier so everyone else that wants to live stream it before me can literally just piggyback onto what I'm doing, and then maybe you guys will follow. I'm about to go over and check out Shawn Hawkins's live stream. I think that's on right now. I think they've been dropping links in the chat. He's trying to get a little bit more open and respectful. So go check that out and get him going. Again, flat Earth. If you want to present. I won't say a word, but if you want to have a one-on-one, please be ready to answer the questions. I'll answer anything you got if you answer what I got. That's all there is to it. Let's be fair about it. Let's keep it real. And then everyone go check out the Dread's new YouTube like. It could be the alternative, because I can tell you now, every content creator that's on YouTube, we're all walking on pins and needles. We all are. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have 3 subs in your live streaming. We're all going to be walking on needles. And we need to get to a place that actually gives a fuck about the content creators, especially when bullshit happens like strikes from sock accounts. It's bullshit. I'm telling you, everyone now, if I was a fucking shill, why the hell would I have given up the bigger channel? Guys, your logic doesn't even work. And if I sound angry, I'm going to start being angry, because 3 months now, I've been asking for evidence and understanding to what you're saying, and nobody ever looks at me like I'm crazy. The reason I left Flat Earth is because I couldn't get answers. I realized that there is no systems, and that everything that I argued for was globe phenomenons that science explains to us. I just want you guys to understand that. A simple I don't know, I don't understand is easily to fix this issue. Another issue is the content creators. I mean, there are a lot of them, not all of them at all. But the select few that I know for a fact that I will call out on any, Nathan, Bro Sanchez, Jeranism, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, the guys that don't change what they say. It's kind of odd, don't you think? Think about it. You're for truth. Your belief in the knowledge that you have changes all the time because you don't know everything. And that's just what it is. So I challenge anybody to prove me wrong on that. And I also challenge anyone to, step up one-on-one. Show me why it's flat then. For real this time. If you don't know, you don't know. I get it. I don't know a lot of shit too. I'm done ranting, tired, cranky, kind of hungry. And all in all, I streamed pretty much all day. And I appreciate that, guys. Again, I'm not here for subs. I'm not here for all the other perks. I mean, the perks are good because I busted my ass for 2.5 years and accomplished that. So I'm proud of myself for that. So yeah, I monetized. Yeah, I use Super Chat. And I don't now. Did I stop? No, actually, I'm streaming a lot more now here than I did over there. Anyone that wants to act like I lie on purpose, seek and find, come up with some real evidence. Understand what intellectual dishonesty is before you want to put up an upload calling someone out on it. Because there's a difference between intellectual dishonesty and not having a full understanding or not knowing all. And that's what you're trying to do between the two. It doesn't make sense. So that's being intellectually dishonest, and I suggest it stop if you want to have a real conversation about stuff, right? One-on-one. Any flat earther. Don't care anymore. Any single flat earther who thinks they know where they live, come do what you say to me, prove it. Give me some evidence. Or let's learn together, let's understand together, and then live on a globe. Okay? See you guys tomorrow, or I'll see a lot of you guys later on. Be in the Debate Flat Earth and More server, probably most of the time. Or my server, In and Out. Go check that out. Links are in the description. Go check out the guys that are putting uploads up. Go check out Seek and Find because he's got a good idea with his channel. He wants to get his word out and not have to deal with me talking over him, which I completely agree with. And I think everyone, if you have an opinion, start your channel up. You don't have to do it here. You don't have to, you don't have to listen and do all. That's what YouTube is for. Get your own shit. But go check everyone out, man. I mean, everyone's got a good point of view. You have to look into everything. I do still. I know you guys don't believe it, but yeah, I still look into a lot of the stuff. I just got done doing yesterday when Mind of God was here. I sat in and I talked quite a bit about how Mind of God was correct on a lot of his views on the government and stuff. I'm still a conspiracy theorist. I just know we live on a globe, guys. That's all it is.